baseball venues in the major leagues. And these loyal, long-time fans making their way into Busch Stadium. They are used to postseason baseball, and they have it once again. Here on TBS, the National League Division Series between the Washington Nationals, the team with the best record in the big leagues, against the defending world champion St. Louis Cardinals. And it should be a terrific series indeed. Welcome, everyone. Dick Stockton, along with Bob Brenly. David Aldridge will be heard from shortly. And for the Washington Nationals, Bob, I don't think that the fact that they won the division shocked the world of baseball more that they had the best record in all of baseball. And no one expected that, and no secret to what's behind having the best record.
They pitch, and they pitch some more, Dick. This team ranked atop the National League in every important pitching category. Not only that, they had a winning record in every month of the season. Their offense had peaks and valleys, but their pitching was very consistent, led by today's starter, Gio Gonzalez.
And we have a contrast of the lack of experience that the Nationals have and the vast experience that the Cardinals have. And the Cardinals are back. We all remember the dramatic way in which they won the World Championship last year. And here they are again, coming out of nowhere and getting into the wild card and beating the Braves to get to this division series. And so, what is their mission against Washington in this series?
Well, they need to try to find a way to score against that Nationals pitching staff, and they have the personnel on hand to do that, as you mentioned. Playoff tested. You see where they rank in the National League. Middle of the pack in home runs. Very good at situational hitting, very good at taking advantage of productive outs, and they have 7 players on this playoff roster that have hit over 300 with runners in scoring position.
And our starting pitchers for game number 1, Gio Gonzalez, who was the winningest pitcher with 21 triumphs, strong Cy Young Award candidate for Washington, and the opposite number for the Cardinals, Adam Wainwright, the 31-year-old veteran coming off of Tommy John surgery and a 14-game winner this year. So it'll be the Nationals and the Cardinals, game 1 coming right up. degrees. It's a chilly afternoon, sunny, hardly a cloud in the sky as the Cardinals take the field, and we send it down to David Aldridge.
Well, Dick, Jason Worth has batted 5th or 6th most of his career in Philadelphia and Washington, protecting his team's best hitters, but he was moved to the leadoff spot for the Nationals, and pretty much out of necessity. The move, though, has paid off as he and Bryce Harper have set the table for Washington's big power hitters, Ryan Zimmerman, Michael Morse, and Ian Desmond. Harper says that Worth has done a fantastic job of grinding through at bats as a leadoff man, helps him see the opposing pitcher's repertoire, most of it anyway, before he gets to the plate. And that may help explain why Harper hit .330 in September after batting just .222 in July. Dick?
All right, David, and Jason Worth, the primary leadoff hitter since mid-August, as we take a look at the Nationals batting order. So Worth leading off, playing right field. Bryce Harper will be in center field. Ryan Zimmerman hitting third at third base, and Adam LaRoche, the veteran, at first base, batting cleanup. Michael Morse will be in left field. Ian Desmond at shortstop. Danny Espinosa, switch hitting second baseman, batting 7th. Kurt Suzuki behind the plate, hitting 8th, and Gio Gonzalez batting 9th. Facing Adam Wainwright, 14-13 on the year, making his second postseason appearance.
You'll see the kitchen sink from Adam Wainwright. He'll work his fastball both directions. He'll sink it, he'll cut it, has a real good curveball, a slider, a straight changeup. Usually pitches very effectively into the 5th, sometimes the 6th inning, and then the wheels tend to come off a little bit. Something to keep an eye on.
It'll be interesting that Wainwright pitches game 1 and Chris Carpenter will pitch game 3. Carpenter with only 3 starts, so the 2 veterans who the Cardinals have relied on, and they're counting on them to be the stalwarts here. And there is Carpenter. And we're ready to go. Jason Worth stepping in for the Nationals, hitting .300 on the year, 5 homers and 31 runs batted in. And he said he likes this team over the 2008 Phils that won the World Series because of their youth and strong pitching, and he takes the first offering for ball 1. Shortstop Cosma is playing deep enough to be on the edge of the outfield grass. And a call, strike 1-1.
Not your prototypical lineup. We talked to Davey Johnson before the ball game today, and I thought I had to ask the question just to let him answer it. But I asked if he was going to play any small ball in the postseason. He said, we're just not built that way. This is a team that is built to slug and hit the ball out of the ballpark. Only the Brewers hit more home runs than the Nationals in the National League this year.
2-1 to Worth. He said, we play American League style ball.
Yep.
Davey Johnson, what a contrast. He is the 69-year-old manager who's been around for so many years, managing this young team. Swings and misses on the breaking pitch, and the count is 2-2. And you have Mike Matheny, who's in his first year as a manager anywhere, and an experienced team on the field.
Yeah, it seems like the 2 managers ought to just change dugouts. You'd have Matheny working with the young Nationals ball club, and Davey Johnson with his postseason experience with the Cardinals team that has a wealth of postseason experience.
2-2 to the leadoff hitter in game 1 here at Busch Stadium. Strikes out on a breaking pitch. Worth goes down, 1 away, and Bryce Harper coming up. And let's take a look now at the Cardinals in the field.
If there is a weakness defensively for the St. Louis Cardinals, it would be Matt Holliday in left field. And with the lead late in the game, Mike Matheny will probably take him down for a defensive replacement. You have John Jay in center, Carlos Beltran in right, David Freese, Pete Cosma, Daniel Descalso, and Alan Craig third to first across the infield. Best in the business, Yadier Molina with his 4 gold gloves behind home plate for right-hander with a gold glove of his own back in '09, Adam Wainwright.
And here's Bryce Harper, who will turn age 20 in 9 days. First pitch, 1 hopper to Descalso, and he fires to first to Craig, and quickly there are 2 out in the Nationals' first inning with Ryan Zimmerman coming to the plate.
I asked Davey Johnson if he was a little concerned that young Bryce Harper would be a little overamped for the ball game today. He said he's overamped every day. Why should today be any different? Maybe a little over aggressiveness that time by Bryce Harper, swinging at the first offering from Wainwright.
And here is Ryan Zimmerman, who was the first Draftee by the Nationals back in 2005, had a hot finish to this season, and he takes strike one from Wainwright.
Eight of his last 15 hits during the regular season went for extra bases. Really finished the season strong. Had 26 runs driven in after September 1st.
1 ball and 1 strike. So Adam Wainwright, making the second postseason start, faced the Dodgers in the 2009 NLDS. Had no decision. Ball strike 2, 1-2 to Zimmerman.
And Dick, we probably should point out, because it will be a factor at some point, the sun really tough on the left side right now. The third baseman, shortstop, left fielder, and to a lesser extent John Jay out there in center field, really going to have to deal with that sun in the early part of the ball game today.
And then that could change as the game wears on to the right side. Swinging on the breaking pitch. So Adam Wainwright, with the breaking ball, strikes out 2 of the first 3 batters. No score with the Cardinals coming up in the first. Will be their batting order. John Jay leading off. Carlos Beltran hitting second. Matt Holliday in the third spot, and Alan Craig batting cleanup. Yadier Molina batting fifth, followed by David Freese, Daniel Descalso, Pete Kozma hitting eighth, and Adam Wainwright, the pitcher, batting ninth against Gio Gonzalez, who was 21-8, biggest winner in the big leagues.
Gonzalez with a fastball that'll sit in the low 90s, occasionally touch the mid 90s if he's really feeling it. His signature pitch is that big curveball. He uses it liberally, especially when he's ahead in the count. Also throws a really good straight changeup. When he's on top of his game, you should see a lot of ground balls.
And John Jay will start it out for the Cardinals. And the first pitch is taken down low, ball 1. John Jay, really underrated, hit .305 on the season. Missed a month with a shoulder sprain. One and one.
Gonzalez has faced the Cardinals once before this season, back on August 31st. That was a complete game shutout. He scattered 5 hits, struck out 8 Cardinal hitters, and in that ball game got 13 ground ball outs, only 5 fly balls, indicating that indeed he was on top of his ball game that day.
That was his only career shutout, as Jay fouls it straight back, 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the 27-year-old left-hander from Hialeah, Florida, he said his dad taught him to throw the curveball. He says, you know, your heater isn't good enough. You better learn the other pitch. And it's paid off for Gonzalez. And a strike on the outside corner, fastball, and Jay goes down.
Well, I'll tell you, Dick, when a guy has a reputation of having a good curveball and using it as his put-away pitch, you can occasionally get away with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball out over the plate. It's only human nature for a hitter to go up there in a 2-strike count and be thinking about that curveball, and you're going to be tardy on the heater, as John Jay was right there.
Here's Carlos Beltran, who had 32 home runs, best he's done in 5 years, and takes ball 1. Interesting that the number 2 hitters for both of these teams, Bryce Harper and Beltran, have a combined 54 homers this year.
The number 2 hitters usually put down bunts and play hit and run, not these guys.
Missing outside, and 2-0 the count to Beltran. Struggled the second half of the year. It's a fly ball down the right field line. Chasing it is Worth, and it's out of play. Gorgeous day, cool day here in St. Louis. Game 2 will be tomorrow afternoon on TBS. And here are the Cardinals once again in postseason. This is the 18th year of division playoffs, and the Cardinals have been in it 10 times. Off the end of the bat to Espinoza. And Beltran is retired for the second out as we take a look at the Nationals in the field.
A little bit of a similarity to the Cardinals in that one of their defensive weaknesses is in left field with Michael Morse. He too will be taken down late with a lead. Bryce Harper in center, Jason Worth over in right field. It's Ryan Zimmerman, Ian Desmond, Danny Espinoza, and Adam LaRoche. 100 home runs combined between the 4 Nationals infielders. Kurt Suzuki, a late season acquisition, will be behind the plate for left-hander Gio Gonzalez.
And with 2 down, Matt Holliday, the batter for the Cardinals, takes ball 1 outside. Holliday reached base 4 times against the Braves in the wild card game, including a home run, and has driven in 100 or more runs for the 5th time in his career. 2-0 to Holliday. Gonzalez falls behind 3-0 to Matt Holliday, with Alan Craig on deck for the Cardinals.
First 3 deliveries all away from Holliday. You have to be really careful and make sure you hit your spot, because Holliday has tremendous opposite field power.
3-1. And Holliday tied for 5th in the National League with 27 home runs on the season. Cardinals beginning their postseason drive. They were twice down to the last strike in the World Series last year. In Game 6 before they won in Game 7, and Matt Holliday draws a 2-out walk, the first base runner of the game. That'll bring up Alan Craig. Alan Craig, 6th in the league with a .307 average, 22 homers and 92 runs batted in. And a tremendous clutch hitter.
And has really hit lefties well, over .350 this season against left-handed pitching. And he too a very dangerous hitter. He would prefer to pull the ball, but he'll hit it from foul line to foul line.
High and away, ball 1. Not only that for Alan Craig, he was the leading hitter in the National League in daytime baseball, batting .345. Runner at first is Matt Holliday with 2 out. Cardinals batting in the first inning. Good pitch on the inside down the right field line, and it's going to be foul. As Craig fighting that one off, and the count now 1-1 to the Cardinal first baseman.
I mentioned it in the open of the show, Dick. The Cardinals very good at situational hitting, taking advantage of the weaknesses in the defense. Not so much in this particular at bat for Allen Craig because there are 2 outs in the inning, but you give these Cardinals hitters a hole on the right side of the infield, they'll look for a pitch to hit through that hole on the right side.
They had 5 players with 20 or more home runs, but they also do the little things at the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. Gonzalez has been all over the place here in the first few hitters.
Well, there were some concerns that Gio would be a little overamped himself to start this ball game today. Pitching coach Steve McCaddy up on the top step, keeping a close eye on his starter. And they say when Gonzalez does get a little hyper out there on the mound, he has a tendency to fly open. His arm drags behind. He leaves a lot of pitches up in the zone.
2-1, not much of a lead for Holliday, held on by LaRoche and fouling it away. Good pitch that time for Craig, and the count is even 2-2.
Boy, really did Gio Gonzalez a favor there. That was one of those fastballs I just mentioned. He tried to overthrow it up and out of the strike zone away, but Craig maybe trying to take a shot through that right side of the infield, chased a bad pitch that time.
2 down, 2-2, the count to Allen Craig. And a drive hit to center field. Bryce Harper coming over and making the catch to retire the side. The Cardinals lead 1 after an inning, no score. No score into the second inning. Play TBS Social Dugout, presented by Samsung Galaxies 3. Predict the plays before they happen, score points, compete against your friends, and earn rewards. Download the app by visiting tbs.com/social dugout or text dugout to 68398. Adam LaRoche will lead off for the Nationals in the top of the second inning against Adam Wainwright. Ball one outside. LaRoche, who will turn 33 on November the 6th, had a career high 33 home runs this season. Fourth in the National League. Checks a swing and takes ball 2-0.
I'll tell you, Dick, I'm a little surprised we don't see more of a defensive shift from the St. Louis Cardinals against LaRoche. He is a dead pull hitter. If he hits the ball to the left of second base, it's a mistake.
He got a pitch in on the fifth there and fouls it off the screen in front of the Cardinal dugout. And the count 2-1 to LaRoche. So they have a sprinkling of veterans to go along with a largely homegrown talent on this team.
A really surprising year out of Adam LaRoche this season. I think kind of caught everybody in the game by surprise, but has really led this Nationals offense all season long.
And the pitch is away. 3 balls and a strike. Adam Wainwright, who had 2 late season starts against the Nationals with mixed results, knocked out in the 3rd inning on August 31st and then beat Washington late in the year. And he loses LaRoche, who draws a leadoff walk here in the 2nd inning, and Michael Morse, the left fielder, coming to the plate. So here's Morse, who hit .291 with 18 homers and 62 runs batted in. He had a terrific final month of the year after missing the first 50 games of the year with an injury. There's not an easy out in this Nationals lineup. Fouled off, strike 1.
And all have some thunder in their bats as well. We've talked about the home runs around the infield. Michael Morse, with prodigious power, can hit the ball out to any part of the park. Very content to hit the ball to the opposite field. I guess when you're that strong, it doesn't matter.
He'll be followed by Ian Desmond, who had 25 home runs this year. Breaking pitch, and Wainwright jumps ahead of Morse, 2 strikes.
Looks like Wainwright's have a real good feeling for that breaking ball early in the game. That's a pitch that occasionally will desert him early in the game, and he'll not find it until the 2nd or 3rd time through the batting order, but it appears he's got a real good feel for it early today.
Struck out 184 to lead the Cardinal pitchers this season. And again, takes something off that breaking ball, strikes out Morse. That's the 3rd strikeout for Wainwright, and there's 1 out in the 2nd inning with Desmond coming up.
Nasty breaking pitch. You know, Derek Lilliquist, the pitching coach for the Cardinals, quite a student of Dave Duncan's, and we pass along best wishes to Dave Duncan and his family. We sorely miss him here in the postseason. We're used to seeing him sitting next to Tony, but Derek Lilliquist, the pitching coach for the Cardinals, I'm sure has adopted a lot of the same philosophies that Dave Duncan used during his days as a pitching coach for the Cardinals. And one of those things was to look back at previous starts. What did you do against this team last time? What did you do in your last start? Because those are the videos, and that's the advance report that a team is going to work off of against you in this start. So they very closely look at what you've done against a team in the past, come up with a game plan against the hitters, and a lot of times that involves starting the game, throwing a lot of off-speed pitches, incorporating fastballs later. Or it may be a lot of fastballs early, incorporate the off-speed later.
There's a line drive, base hit to center field. John Jay retrieves it. Heading to 3rd is LaRoche, and he'll make it. And a single by Ian Desmond. And now the Nationals have runners at 1st and 3rd and 1 out, with Espinosa coming to the plate.
Nice piece of controlled hitting that time by Desmond. A lot of free swinging from the Nationals up till this point, but Desmond with a short, compact swing, driving that ball into center. And Adam LaRoche, who's not the most adventurous base runner for the Nationals, takes the opportunity to go 1st to 3rd.
So the Nationals have a runner in scoring position with 1 away, and here is Espinosa, the switch hitting second baseman. So here you have a batter in the number 7 slot in the order with 17 home runs this season. Cardinals infield looking for the ground ball double play possibility. Pitch is outside, ball 1.
And this is where you see the difference in philosophy of the two managers. If this were the Cardinals with their number 7 hitter Daniel Descalso up with runners at first and third and 1 out, you might see a safety squeeze, you might see a suicide squeeze, you might see them start the runner at first. But in talking to Davey Johnson, I got a feeling we're going to see Mr. Espinosa try to hit the ball out into the bullpen.
Taking a page from Earl Weaver, his manager when he played for the Orioles. Earl Weaver said, what, sacrifice? I'm going to wait for the 3-run homer.
Absolutely.
Davey Johnson, the second baseman on those great Baltimore Oriole clubs. And a sparkling career as a player and, of course, as a manager. 69-year-old Davey Johnson. Swing and a miss. Fooled by Wainwright's breaking pitch. And the count is 1-1.
Two of the better curveballs in baseball in this game. Adam Wainwright from the right side, Gio Gonzalez from the left side. Very tight rotation. Tough to pick up that pitch immediately out of the pitcher's hand, no matter which one you're talking about.
So Espinosa trying to get Adam LaRoche in from third. Ian Desmond with the first hit of the game on at first base. Here's another breaking pitch. It's in for the strike, and it's 1-2. Paul Emmel is the home plate umpire. Marvin Hudson is at first. Crew chief Joe West at second. Jim Joyce the umpire at third, with Alfonso Marquez and Ed Hickox manning the foul lines. Cardinal fans looking for the strikeout here, and time is called, and Espinosa steps out looking at Bo Porter, the third base coach, for a signal here. Fastball on the inside corner, and Espinosa is out on strike. So Wainwright gets a big out here and has struck out 2 in each of the first 2 innings.
Right down Main Street, much like Gio Gonzalez can put hitters to sleep looking for that curveball. Adam Wainwright has done the same thing here in the first couple innings of the game, showing a real good curve early, sneaking that fastball in there when Espinosa was obviously expecting something else.
So with 2 down in first and third, here is Kurt Suzuki, and a big pickup from the Oakland A's early in August, and improved his average by 50 points down the stretch for the Nationals. Breaking ball, strike 1 to Suzuki.
I'll tell you, Dick, you can be at the mercy of a starting pitcher when he's commanding the breaking ball the way Wainwright is. He can throw it for strikes when he wants to. He's bouncing it in the dirt when he wants to.
As you said, it sets up that fastball, which retired Espinosa. 0-1 pitch and a base hit to left field through the hole by Suzuki. LaRoche will score, and on at second is Desmond, and the Nationals take a 1-0 lead here in the second inning on Kurt Suzuki's base hit.
Kurt Suzuki's been paying attention as he waited for his first at bat in this ball game. Gets a second curve in a back-to-back sequence, and this time lines it through the hole in the left side of the infield. As Yogi said, you can learn a lot or observe a lot just by watching. I think Kurt Suzuki, being a catcher, probably pays a little more attention to what that opposing pitcher is throwing out there on the mound, and guessed right that time.
So the Nationals draw first blood, first and second and 2 out. Gio Gonzalez, the pitcher, taking a fastball in tight, ball 1. So Adam LaRoche, who started it off with a walk, and alertly went to third on Ian Desmond's base hit. And that pitch is down low, and Wainwright falls behind Gonzalez, now 2-0. Gonzalez did hit a home run this year, knocked in 4 runs, and now Wainwright down 3-0. Time called, and Molina will go to the mound. So Well, Adam Wainwright, who disposed of the Nationals on 10 pitches and striking out 2 in a 1-2-3 inning in the first, running into difficulties here in the second.
You talked about Adam LaRoche going first to third. As I mentioned, he's not the fastest runner. He's not the most adventurous runner in this Nationals lineup, but he saw John Jay get handcuffed a little bit out there in center field by that Ian Desmond base hit, and turned the corner, got to third base, and it turned out to be huge.
Kind of deceptive going from first to third. And the count to Gonzalez, ball 4, and he walks a 4-pitch walk to the Nationals pitcher, and the bases are loaded. Desmond will go to third, Suzuki to second, and the second walk of the inning will bring up the leadoff hitter, Jason Worth. So a chance to get out of the inning by disposing of the number 9 hitter, and now he has to face Worth with the bases loaded.
Well, that's a Cardinal sin at any time of the year, especially to roll around at the top of this Nationals order, and we know what kind of damage they're capable of doing.
Worth struck out to start the game, but the Nationals getting a run here in the second inning. 2 walks and a couple of hits against Adam Wainwright. Bases are loaded, and Worth trying to do some more damage. In there for the strike, 0-1. Interesting, Bob, what happens to a pitcher like Wainwright, who was in command of the breaking ball, getting that fastball in when they least expect it, and then all of a sudden having problems with the 8 and 9 hitters. 1-1.
And it's not really a physical thing, Dick. I think just mentally a little bit. He's cruising along, everything's feeling good. All of a sudden he gives up a base hit and then another base hit, and then he walks the pitcher. I think it's more between his ears than it is from hanging down from his right shoulder right now.
2 down, bases loaded. Slowly hit to shortstop. Cosma over to first, and that'll do it. But the Nationals get a run and leave the bases loaded. And in the middle of the second inning, it's Washington 1 and St. Louis nothing. Nationals lead the Cardinals 1-0 with St. Louis batting in the bottom of the second inning. Watch bonus camera angles for the Wild Card, Division Series, and ALCS games with postseason.tv. Get started now at MLB.com. Well, the Nationals take the first lead of the game, and Yadier Molina leading off for the Cardinals. We just don't have enough time to talk about all the assets of this man.
I'll tell you, his manager had plenty to say about Yadier Molina, and what a joy it was to have a veteran, experienced, take-charge catcher like Yadier Molina for his first year as the manager of the Cardinals. This guy has really come a long way offensively. He's always been one of the best defensive catchers in the game, but over the last 2 or 3 seasons, he's really taken his offense to another level.
1-1 to Molina, who is 4th in the National League, hitting .315. And as smart as he is behind the plate, you know about catchers, he's a smart hitter as well. And of course, knocking in a run with a ground ball to the right side. You don't see that in the box scores against the Braves in the wild card. Count is 1-2 to Molina, but you're so right, he has become quite an impact player with the bat.
And he recognizes that postseason is different than regular season. He was quoted as saying, this is the time of year you have to do the small things. And one of your team leaders takes that kind of attitude. Everybody else pretty much falls in line and does whatever the situation calls for.
So there you see the batting leaders with another catcher, Buster Posey, leading the parade.
And another part-time catcher, Jordan Pacheco, down there in the 5 spot. I love that, Dick. 3 catchers in the top 5. Are you kidding me?
You got to love that one. And you got an old catcher managing the Cardinals and Mike Matheny. Meanwhile, the count full, 3-2 to Molina with David Freese on deck. Gio Gonzalez, who issued a walk in the first inning. And Molina pops it up in foul territory. Chasing it is Adam LaRoche, and it lands in the 4th row.
I thought it was a cute little story, Dick, that Mike told us down in his office this morning about going to spring training every year, and there would always be a couple of new catchers in camp, and he'd go home to his wife and tell her, I've got this. I'm better than these guys. But when Yadier Molina showed up, he went home and told his wife, I think my replacement is here.
It's a matter of time.
Pretty easy to recognize.
3-2 again to Molina, leading off for the second inning for the Cardinals. Chop foul. Mentioned the Cardinals and their ability to hit left-handed pitching. They were 31-17 against left-handers this year, 3rd best in the major leagues, but of course they're facing one of the better ones today in Gio Gonzalez, the 21-game winner. Once again, the payoff pitch. Ball 4 outside, and Molina, smart at bat, draws a walk. And right now, let's send it to Matt Weiner in our studios in Atlanta. All right, Matt. So a big advantage now for Jim Leyland's team. Leading 2-0 is David Freese with 1 on and nobody out coming up. Last year's Mr. October. Still resonating. The MVP of the NLCS and the World Series a year ago. Hit 20 home runs this year. Gets jammed and it's popped up. Kurt Suzuki sees it go out of play.
Well, just a dream postseason for David Freese last year. Hit a Major League Baseball all-time postseason mark with his 21 RBIs in 18 games, 50 total bases, set a new postseason record. Seemed like every time the game was hanging in the balance, David Freese was at the plate.
And here he is, batting 6th in the Cardinal order. So both teams have hitting strength up and down the batting order. And there's a drive hit deep to center field. Bryce Harper going back on the warning track and makes the catch. Freese with a deep drive to center field. Molina goes back to first, and there's one gone.
Ball was stung to straightaway center field. What little bit of wind we have here today doesn't seem to really be affecting anything right now, but a line drive to the warning track in center field. Bryce Harper shaded over toward right center just a few steps, able to get a good jump and backpedal onto the warning track to make the catch on that drive.
So with one on and one away, here's Daniel Descalso, Cardinals second baseman. Takes ball one. Descalso hit .309 against left-handed pitchers this year, and Kurt Suzuki goes out to talk to Gonzalez.
You know, we saw Bryce Harper make that play flawlessly out there in center field that time, and Davey Johnson was telling us that he's worked extremely hard with third base coach and outfield instructor Bo Porter. Because he is such a maximum effort guy, he ran hard, he pumped his arms hard, and occasionally that caused his head to bounce and his eyes to bounce, and wasn't always in good positions, didn't always take good lines because he was in such a hurry to get to the spot. And much like a lot of things in this game, Bo Porter got him to slow things down a little bit, run a little more smoothly. He called it gliding in the outfield, and Bryce Harper has turned himself into a better outfielder this season.
Fouled off at the count 1-2, and he handled that drive to center field. Like you say, the wind not necessarily a factor. Sun more to left field, but never an easy play when you're going straight back onto the track.
Especially a ball hit that hard. That never really got too high in the air out there to center field. More of a humpback line drive, but Harper handled it flawlessly.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Descalso, the number 7 hitter in the Cardinal lineup today. Nationals lead 1-0, and it's 2-2 to the Redbird second baseman. On deck is Pete Kozma. Kozma, who has settled the shortstop derby that the Cardinals had. And a 3-2 count coming up with Molina on at first base. Cardinals not so much a running team, and Molina, very surprisingly, had 12 stolen bases in 15 attempts this year. Not much of a lead here, and just staying alive is Descalso. Out remains 3-2.
And that's one of the ways Yadier Molina will set up a pitcher. Take a short lead over there at first, and not really trying to get out there to a maximum lead. And just about the time you stop paying attention to him, that's when he'll take off and try to steal a base.
And ball 4. So Gonzalez, who walked Molina on a 3-2 count, does the same to Descalso, and now runners at first and second and 1 out. And the number 8 hitter, shortstop Pete Kozma, stepping in. So that is the 3rd walk for Gonzalez. Gonzalez still has not thrown a first pitch strike to any Cardinal hitters.
Walks were not a big part of his game during the regular season. Nearly a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio for Gio Gonzalez. Maybe a little jittery here in the early going, maybe trying to overthrow just a little bit.
So an opportunity for Pete Kozma with the tying run at second base. Here in the second inning, the Nationals leading 1-0. Kozma entered the practice of the rotating shortstops here in St. Louis. Started the last 17 games at that position. And again, Suzuki out to talk to Gonzalez and settle him down.
And Kozma did a nice job, not only defensively but offensively. 10 of his 24 base hits went for extra bases. He drove in a run in 7 of his last 11 games during the regular season. So even hiding down there in that 8 spot in the lineup, you've got a guy capable of producing some runs.
So Molina's at second, Descalso at first, both reaching as a result of walks, and the first pitch down low, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike as Cosma fouls it off to the right. Well, Gonzalez has walked 3 and struck out 1. He has thrown 20 pitches thus far. And a big acquisition traded by the Oakland A's last December for 4 prospects. Cut and a miss. 1-2 now to Cosma. On deck is Adam Wainwright. And it's inside. Good stop by Suzuki. The way the division series going this year, Bob, that the top team, the team with the most wins, has to open with 2 games on the road.
Well, you know, I think considering the travel demands and everything else, it's a lot better than trying to go 2-2-1. I think everybody would like to open in your own ballpark and close in your own ballpark, but I think you'll take those 3 games at home to end the series.
And once again, pitch in the dirt. And a 3-2 count. So Gonzalez going to the full count on 3 hitters here in the 2nd inning. Runners are at first and second and 1 out. Nationals lead 1-0. Cardinals trying to fight back early.
Suzuki doing a nice job here on the last couple deliveries from Gio Gonzalez, breaking balls both in the dirt inside, able to smother them and hold those runners at first and second.
All 4, so Gonzalez has walked 3 hitters here in the 2nd inning. After going to the full count, Cosma walks, loading the bases to Adam Wainwright. And going to the mound will be the pitching coach, Steve McCanny. And similar to the top half of this inning, a chance to face Wainwright with 2 out and get out by getting the number 9 hitter. But now here is Wainwright with the bases loaded and only 1 out.
Wainwright, while the Nationals have a meeting on the mound to try to get Gio Gonzalez back into the strike zone, Adam Wainwright having a meeting of his own with Jose Akendo. Not quite sure what the Cardinals are talking about there, but if it was me, I'd say don't swing till you get 2 strikes, and even then, maybe don't swing. The worst thing that can happen here for the Cardinals is a double play.
John Jay, the leadoff hitter, would be on deck. So Gonzalez has walked 4 batters, 3 this inning. There's Jay, and here is Wainwright, who had a couple of doubles this year, including a home run. Not a bad hitter for a pitcher. Molina's at third, Descalso at second, and Cosma on at first base. Molina charging down the line, trying to upset Gonzalez a bit, and the count, ball 1 to the pitcher. Two and 0 now to Wainwright. Two balls and a strike. You would think Yadier Molina is Lou Brock at third base, the way he's coming off of third base.
Well, just trying to offer some kind of distraction, as you said, maybe get Gio Gonzalez thinking about him rather than the hitter at the plate, even though it is the pitcher, Adam Wainwright.
And Wainwright swings on a pitch in on the fist and fouls it away. And the count now 2-2. So Gio Gonzalez has walked 3 batters after going to the 3-2 count. The bases are loaded with 1 out. And the ball gets away. Molina's going to score. And everyone advances. And the Cardinals tie it up. rookie inning for Gio Gonzalez.
Boy, and he's been spraying them all over the place, bouncing, breaking balls in the dirt. He's missed with his fastball up and away from right-handed hitters. This one he just hung on to a little bit too long. Threw it near the feet of Adam Wainwright. Suzuki not able to make the play that time.
So a wild pitch by Gonzalez. And the Cardinals have tied it up. Runners now at second and third. 3-2 pitch to Wainwright. Ball four. 4 walks, 3 in succession by Gio Gonzalez. The bases are loaded with 1 out, and John Jay, the top of the order, coming up. So Gonzalez, with his 5 walks, has tied a season's high for him. And John Jay, who took a called 3rd strike in the Cardinal first inning, the batter here. And that one almost thrown away. Well, when you look at what Gio Gonzalez has done, Bob, when he has had 6 or more days of rest, not quite the same as other situations.
Oh, yeah, very dominating on his regular 4 days rest or the occasional extra day, but 6 or more, it has not been pretty, and he is really struggling right now to find a release point.
And Jay fouls it off. 1 ball and 1 strike. So after walking 1 batter in the first, Gonzalez has walked 4 here, 3 in a row.
And we've had some brief timeouts while Kurt Suzuki and Adam LaRoche and Steve McCaddy went to the mound. But if this were any other sport, you'd call a timeout right now. Get your team off the field and try to regroup.
To left field. And Morse makes the catch. Tagging up is Descalso, and he'll come across. And the Cardinals take the 2-1 lead. John Jay with an RBI sacrifice fly. And the Cardinals lead it.
Selective aggressiveness on the part of these Cardinals hitters, as Gio Gonzalez has struggled to find the strike zone this inning. John Jay came up, and when he got pitches in the strike zone, he did not hesitate to let that bat go, ultimately driving that ball out to left for a sac fly.
So the Nationals don't get the shutdown inning here in the second inning, as the Cardinals get 2, and Beltran taking strike 1 to the dismay of the fans. Beltran rounding out his first time up to Danny Espinosa, the second baseman. Pete Cosma on at second base, and Adam Wainwright, the runner at first, inside, and another good stop by Suzuki. He's had a very busy inning behind the plate.
A lot busier than he would like, I'm sure. And that's part of the job description. When you put that gear on and go behind the plate, you're expected to stop everything. Suzuki has done a real good job, with the exception of that 1 wild pitch at the feet of Adam Wainwright.
Fastball back on the screen, fouled off, and it's 1-2. Cardinals are making Gio Gonzalez work. The next pitch will be the 37th of this second inning. Runners are at first and second with 2 down, and time called. So Beltran, who drove in 97 runs on the year. Cosma is the runner at second, Wainwright at first base. And a fly ball hit out to center field, and Harper has to shade his eyes with the sun. 4 walks here in the second inning. The Cardinals take a 2-1 lead as we go to the third. Cardinals leading 2-1 as the Nationals come up in the third inning. Cardinals and Braves fans follow their teams with the Team app. Download the Team Stream. Choose your teams and your set. Get Team Stream from Bleacher Report today. So here in the third inning, it'll be the 2-3-4 hitters against Adam Wainwright for Washington. Bryce Harper will start it off. Bounced to second his first time up, and Bob, both starting pitchers struggling in the second inning.
Yeah, just trying to get their emotions under control, physically and mentally get into a good place. Maybe a little overamped early, maybe a little bit too cool in that second inning, but these guys have been through it before. I'm sure they'll both settle in here as we move forward.
So the Nationals scored a run in the second. Cardinals answered with 2 without the benefit of the base hit. There were 4 walks and a sacrifice fly against Gonzalez. And here is Harper. Strike 1 to Bryce Harper. What a foundation he represents for this Washington franchise. There is the curve, took something off that pitch, and is ahead of Harper. 0-2 is Wainwright.
His general manager Mike Rizzo said he's an old school player in a very young body. His teammates stick up for him like a little brother, they said on the playground. Anybody takes pot shots at Bryce Harper, they're going to have to deal with the entire ball club.
1-2. That the rookies, of course, in the league with 22 home runs. Knocked in 98. Rebounded from a very tough July when he hit 1 home run and hit 222. Came back strong, which says a lot for the rookie.
Yeah, we talked about the sun being an issue for the defenders. It's going to be an issue for the hitters here very shortly as the shadows continue to move out toward the pitcher's mound, just crossing home plate now.
Foul ball drilled down the first base line. Adam Wainwright, who gave up a couple of hits and a couple of walks in the second inning, now with a 1-run lead. And the count 2-2 to Harper with Ryan Zimmerman up next. Strikes him out on a curveball. Harper goes down. And that's strikeout number 5 for Wainwright. 1 out to Zimmerman.
Back to the curveball here for Adam Wainwright. Boy, Harper does such a good job of staying on top of the baseball, but that off-speed breaking pitch is kryptonite to a lot of hitters. To stay on top of that curveball, and they just continue to dive bomb down toward the bottom of the zone.
So Ryan Zimmerman, a strikeout victim in the first inning. And he takes strike 1. Rough start for Adam Wainwright this year. He said in the first month, I was an embarrassment to the team and to the game of baseball. I never felt so lost on the mound in my entire life. He came back 5-1 in the month of August. 1-1 now to Zimmerman with Adam LaRoche on deck. And that pitch inside. 2-1, very nearly hit Zimmerman.
Just missed that left hip as Zimmerman twists out of the way of that inside delivery.
Now 3-1 to Zimmerman. 31-year-old Adam Wainwright from Brunswick, Georgia. towering, imposing figure on the mound at 6 feet 7 inches. And a ball hit to center field, dropped for a base hit. So Zimmerman gets the 3rd hit of the game for the Nationals as we send it down to David Aldridge.
Well, Dick, we all know the controversy surrounding the Nationals' decision to shut down Stephen Strasburg in September in his first season since Tommy John surgery. By contrast, you see Adam Wainwright pitching for the Cardinals, amassing almost 200 innings in the regular season a year after his Tommy John surgery. Now, every player, of course, is different. Every rehab is different. Cardinals GM John Mozeliak said yesterday that they looked at the stress of the innings on Wainwright as opposed to the number of innings, the pitch count, things like that. They also took into consideration the fact that Wainwright is a 31-year-old pitcher who is a little bit more mature and has accomplished a lot for the franchise over the last few years. There's a trust factor there, but they just felt more comfortable going with him, as well as the flawless rehab that he had last year when he came back from the surgery, Dick.
All right, David, thank you very much. Adam LaRoche flies out to John Jay, the son of, again, a factor there in left center field. And the Stephen Strasburg story was like a daily story throughout the major league season. Every day, that was subject number 1, it seemed.
And not only a subject for Stephen Strasburg and his manager and general manager, but it got to the point where they were asking his teammates, what do you feel about Stephen Strasburg being shut down in the middle of a pennant race? And it could have very easily been a huge distraction.
Michael Morse rounds to Cosmo, who gets the force. Wainwright gives out a 1-out single, and after 2.5, 2-1, Cardinals. Peak Performance brought to you by Nissan, makers of the all-new Altima, and Gio Gonzalez led in strikeouts per 9 innings, was 4th in the league with 207. But today, so far, it's been the bases on balls that have done him in.
In that second inning, Dick, he probably wanted to get in his Nissan and drive home, but he's a great competitor. He will attempt to find that release point, and if he does, he can still be very tough in this game. One bad inning should not ruin an outing.
And it'll be a long drive to Hialeah, Florida, but you could do that with the Nissan as Matt Holliday chases a pitch outside. Strike one. He walked his first time up. And now the count, no balls and 2 strikes to Holliday, be followed by Alan Craig and Yadier Molina here in the 3rd inning. The Cardinals, who were trailing 1-0 going into the bottom of the 2nd, scoring 2 runs without the benefit of the base hit. 1 run coming in on a wild pitch, the other on a sacrifice fly. Gonzalez 21-8 on the year. Matt Holliday, big game in the wild card clash.
He's another guy that seems to rise to the occasion. A screaming line drive homer into the left field bleachers at Turner Field in the play-in game.
Reached base 4 times against the Braves. Staying alive at 0-2 as he fouls off 2 in a row.
Really a 50-50 split between balls and strikes for Gio Gonzalez.
Third baseman, good play made by Ryan Zimmerman on a tough hop. And Matt Holliday is retired. 1 out in the 3rd inning, and Alan Craig coming up. You know, Bob, we talk about the Cardinals trying to get that magic again, but they have a lot of people not with them this year that they had last season, as we see that play again by Zimmerman.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out, Dick, Ryan Zimmerman has had 4 cortisone shots in his right shoulder this season. He really has some issues getting all those bone chips lined up, getting everything ready to unleash the throw across the diamond. He rarely makes a bad throw, but it's a very awkward looking throwing motion, and it looks like it's very painful for Zimmerman. Now, when he fields the ball on the move, either to his left or his right or coming in, it's a much more natural throwing motion. But when he has time to get his feet underneath him and wind up, you saw how he almost had to get his arm in the exact right position before unleashing that throw. Elbow up and then extend the forearm out behind and then follow through with the throw across the diamond.
A little bit of an awkward throw at that, going across. Alan Craig with a pop foul out of play, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. And we talk about the Cardinals, who, of course, the big name missing is Albert Pujols, who is a fixture here for so many years. No longer here. Tony La Russa, who one of the great managers headed for the Hall of Fame, also absent. There were some injuries as well to the likes of Furcal and Lance Berkman. And this club had to fight through all of it with a first-year manager. Gonzalez, 1-2 pitch to Alan Craig, and it's now 2-2 with Yadier Molina on deck for St. Louis. Game 1 of the best of 5. Game 2 tomorrow afternoon. Jordan Zimmerman will be on the mound for the Nationals, and Jaime Garcia will pitch for the Cardinals. Count remains 2-2 to Alan Craig. Craig led National League hitters, runners in scoring position, with a 400 mark. Had a couple of stints on the disabled list, but has been healthy since the beginning of June. Shot down the left field line, foul. Well, here it is, 2-1 in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and Gio Gonzalez has yet to give up a base hit.
It can be a funny game, Dick, I'll tell you. Gio Gonzalez, especially in that 2nd inning, just could not find a consistent release point. Not only was he missing with his breaking pitches, he missed with fastballs up and away to righties, fastballs down and in the dirt to righties. Much better rhythm, much better command here in this inning.
As he strikes out Alan Craig for the 2nd out. Yadier Molina coming up as Craig goes down. 2nd strikeout for Gonzalez. Molina started last inning with a leadoff walk. and eventually scored on a wild pitch. So with all those walks, there were several pitches that could have been wild pitches beside the one that got a run home. 1-0 to Molina. Two 2-0 to the Cardinal catcher who made his 4th straight All-Star team this season. Falling behind 3-0. Here we are also in the 3rd inning, and Gio Gonzalez has thrown 70 pitches. Getting the green light on 3-0 and a pop up to the right side. Espinosa has it. 1-2-3 inning. Cardinals lead 2-1 into the 4th.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
And welcome back to Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Dick Stockton along with Bob Brenly and David Aldridge. Cardinals take a 2-1 lead into the 4th inning. Adam Wainwright will be facing Ian Desmond, Danny Espinosa, and Kurt Suzuki. The first pitch is a strike to Desmond, who singled to center field his first time up. What a year for Desmond. 3rd full season as the shortstop for the Nationals. Made the All-Star team. And there's a ball hit over the shortstop Cosma into left center field for a base hit. So Desmond, 2 for 2, starts off the 4th with a base hit.
Little jam shot just over the head of Pete Cosma for a base hit into left center field. And we mentioned earlier, Davey Johnson probably not likely to play a lot of small ball in this series, but if he chooses to do so, this would be the part of the lineup where he might try it. Desmond on with the leadoff single. You got Danny Espinosa and Kurt Suzuki to follow, and then the pitcher spot. This would be where he would be most likely to either bunt or play hit and run.
Espinosa checking with third base coach Bo Porter. David Freese even with the bag ready to come in if necessary, and the throw going over. Desmond had 21 stolen bases this year to lead the Nationals.
But as always, a very risky proposition to try to run on the Cardinals, and Yadier Molina once again this year threw out 48% of the attempted base stealers.
Diving back this time.
And that's part of the reason why the Cardinal pitching staff very good about holding runners at first base, altering their delivery to home plate, so it's much tougher to get a jump.
Nationals have all 4 hits in this game, but trail 2-1. Shot down the right field line, foul. 0-1 to Espinosa, switch hitter. Had success against the Cardinals, hitting .296 against Redbird pitching, including home runs off of Kyle Loesch and Lance Lynn. Lynn, of course, an 18-game winner who was relegated to the bullpen in this series. Swinging at a pitch well inside, and it's 0-2. Well, we found out whether Espinosa was going to bunt or not. And tried to move the runner along. Kurt Suzuki is the on-deck hitter.
I think it's quite possible you will not see any bunts from the Nationals in this series unless it is the pitcher. Just not part of Davey's MO.
Time called. Washington national team. Hard to believe that only 3 years ago they won 59 games. A league low. They were 1 game under 500 last year, and they won 98 this time around. Swings and waves really at the breaking pitch. And Espinosa goes down. That is the 6th strikeout for Wainwright. 1 out. Desmond on at first, and here is Kurt Suzuki, who drove in the Nationals run.
It's that breaking ball bouncing right out in front of home plate. The shadows couldn't really be becoming a factor here. About halfway between home and the pitcher's mound right now. Batters will track the ball for the first third of the flight, lose it in that shade in front of home plate, and especially on a breaking ball that moves as much as the Wainwright curveball does, it's going to be tough to track that pitch.
Suzuki with a base hit through the hole in left field, driving in Adam LaRoche, who led off the 2nd inning with a walk. Strike. Interesting, Davey Johnson telling us about how he became enamored with Suzuki when he was managing the U.S. team against Cuba.
Yeah, I had Kurt Suzuki and Jared Saltalamacchia as the 2 catchers on that team, and gradually as time went on, Suzuki got more and more of the playing time. He says, I like them both, but it's nice to have Kurt back, a guy he's very familiar with.
1-1, the lead by Ian Desmond at first base. All strike. And Wainwright is ahead of the Nationals catcher. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Next batter will be Gonzalez, the Washington pitcher. 2-2 now to Suzuki. Kurt Suzuki, a native of Hawaii, played his college ball at one of the great powers, Cal State Fullerton, and was the primary catcher for the A's since the '07 campaign.
You'll notice Yadier Molina giving a series of signs, even though the runner is at first base, not second base.
Ground ball, fair ball, freeze to second, the throw, and a good play by Desmond to take Descalso out at second base, preventing the double play here.
Very tough to turn that one. Ball hit right down the third baseline. It's a long throw to initiate the double play, and with the speed of Ian Desmond, he was right on top of Daniel Descalso and just does get enough of that back leg to disrupt the throw to first. I was saying that about Yadier Molina because we've seen the Cardinals in the postseason a lot, and it's something that they do every year at this time of the season, whether there's a runner at first or even occasionally with nobody on base. Call it paranoia, call it being careful. Molina will use a series of signs even with no runner at second base, something you rarely see during the regular season.
Well, there have been instances when the first base coach has been looking in and perhaps picking off some signs.
And even the runner himself, if he gets a big enough lead, he can kind of peek around that right shin guard and maybe pick up a sign or a location on a pitch to help you better determine what's coming. And of course, a good base stealer, if he thinks an off-speed pitch is coming, that's when you want to run.
So here is Gio Gonzalez, and the count 1-0 to him. There's a strike, 1-1. Gonzalez walked back in the second inning. 75 at-bats this year. That was the only time, or actually one time previously, that Gonzalez walked. Desmond led off with a single here in the fourth inning. And now there are two out, 1-1 to Gonzalez. Misses the fastball up, and it's 1-2.
Of course, then Gonzalez returned the favor by walking Wainwright in the bottom of the second inning. Watch that ball just disappear. You can see it brightly lit up by the sunshine out there on the mound and about 30 feet in front of the mound, and then it just disappears into the shadows.
Just missed with the breaking pitch, and it's 2-2, and the Sun field moving more toward the center field area, strongly affecting the shortstop, third baseman, and left fielder when we started the game. Desmond at first, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And Gonzalez strikes out. So 2 more strikeouts for Wainwright. He's got 7 in the game. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning, 2-1 Cardinals. Back here at Busch Stadium, and David Freese will lead it off for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 4th inning. St. Louis leading 2-1. Gio Gonzalez has allowed the 2 runs on no hits. He has walked 5, which ties the season's high for him. Freese fly to center fielder Harper his first time up.
Boy, and he loves to ambush opposing pitchers. A .394 average on the first pitch, slugging nearly .700 when attacking that first pitch.
Ball 1 outside. So Gonzalez retiring the Cardinals in order last inning. And the first time he's gotten a 1-2-3 inning today. 1-1. Two balls and a strike to Freese, who's a local product from Lafayette High School in Wildwood. And he made the National League All-Star team. It's his first time on the All-Star squad, and the fan vote for the final spot. Now Gonzalez falls behind Freese 3-1 with Daniel Descalso on deck. Full count now. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Freese. Another foul ball out of play. And the Shadows have just about made their way out to the mound.
Because of the configuration of the stadium here, you can see there is a little bit of sunlight just behind home plate, the opening at the very top of the stadium. We're going to have all kinds of conditions here this afternoon.
Chopper to the left side, through for a base hit for Freese. And the first hit of the game for the Cardinals. And it comes here in the 4th inning. Leadoff base hit by Freese. And Daniel Descalso will come to the plate.
On a fastball at 90 down in the zone, Freese just kind of smothers that ball to the left side, but finds the hole between Zimmerman and Desmond into left field for the first Cardinal base hit of the game.
Here is Descalso, and the bottom 3 hitters in the Cardinal lineup all walked in that disastrous 2nd inning. Not quite that bad, but the control problems giving the Cardinals the lead they have now. Oh, 0-1 now to Descalso as LaRoche holding on Freese. Second time in the game that the Cardinals have had the leadoff man aboard. Infield a double play depth. At short and second. 1-1 now. Cardinals winning the wild card game in Atlanta. And now starting this best-of-5 series with the first 2 games at home. Popped in the air, Suzuki. And sees it go out of play just over the screen.
You know, we asked Davey Johnson about possibly playing small ball, something he's not really accustomed to and doesn't like to do. We asked Mike Matheny the same thing. Nationals catching core, and there's been quite a few of them this year because of injuries, has really had trouble throwing out base runners this year. They've surrendered 111 stolen bases. Gio Gonzalez himself has given up 12 in 13 attempts, but Mike Matheny said we're just not that kind of ball club. He says they're more likely to play hit and run rather than try to straight steal a base.
Call strike 3, and Descalso goes down. And moments ago we spoke with Nationals pitching coach Steve McCanny. Steve, a weird second inning for Gio Gonzalez. Certainly out of character, to say the least.
Well, that's one of the things with Gio. He has a quick motor and he gets rushing. It's been a few days off, first time in the playoffs, so he got a little wild there. So we got him calmed down a little bit, so hopefully he's better from this point out.
Steve, how do you calm a guy down? I mean, certainly it's understandable under the conditions. He wants to do the best job he possibly can. A lot of adrenaline flowing out there. How do you calm a guy down?
Well, you know, there's different approaches. You know, sometimes you can be quiet, say, all right, relax, don't worry about it, make a pitch, ground ball, double play. And then sometimes with Gio, you just got to get right in his face and say, hey, throw the ball over the plate. This is not going to get it. And that didn't work at first. He came back and had a better inning after that.
All right, and the double play ends it for the Cardinals. We go to the fifth, still 2-1. Back here at Busch Stadium, it'll be the top of the order for the Nationals here in the top of the fifth inning. Jason Worth will start it off against Adam Wainwright. Cardinals in front 2-1. Worth swings and misses for strike one. He struck out in the first inning and bounced to short in the second. Breaking pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Freese is playing back of third and playing Worth to pull as Molina goes out to the mound. Outfield has been basically straight away throughout this game for the Cardinals against the national hitters.
And we talked about Adam LaRoche being a dead pull hitter. Michael Morse is actually an opposite field hitter, but it's Washington's line. They hit the ball from foul line to foul line, Jason Worth included. So defensively, unless you have a pitcher on the mound that's really hitting his spots, you pretty much have to play everybody straight up.
Pitches inside, 2-1, 65 pitches now thrown by Wainwright. His troublesome inning was the second when he threw 23 pitches. Gonzalez, who's up at 83 pitches, had 37 thrown in the second inning, and now falling behind 3-1 to the leadoff hitter, Jason Worth. 6 career postseason appearances for Worth. 5 with the Phillies and 1 time with the Dodgers. And there's a base hit, sharply hit to left field. So that'll be hit number 5 for the Nationals. They have the leadoff man aboard for the 3rd time in the game. And Bryce Harper coming to the plate. Mentioned Harper will turn 20 9 days from today, and the youngest position player ever in an all-star game. So quite a distinguished season for the rookie. Strasburg and Harper, and before that Zimmerman, started the homegrown talent for this club. Harper has bounced out and struck out. One and 0.
Now, for those who want to pile on Bryce Harper and criticize the way he plays the game, I would just suggest to think back what you were doing when you were 19 years old. I was trying to sneak into bars, you know, doing all kinds of stupid stuff that 19-year-olds do. Here he is playing in the baseball postseason. Had a tremendous rookie year. Talking to his manager, Davey Johnson, and a lot of his teammates, they really respect the way he plays the game. He is old school. He hustles hard all the time. His uniform is dirty every day. He doesn't do anything to disrespect his opponents or the game or the fans. I think it's refreshing, and he's fun to watch.
He certainly is. Davey Johnson saying he was really a spark plug down the stretch for his club. Takes a fastball on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Lead by Jason Worth. Nationals getting the leadoff man on in each of the last 2 innings. Foul ball. And it's 2-2. Bryce Harper.
Just the total package. Unbelievable power, especially when he pulls the ball. We've talked about his improvements defensively, gliding on the ball in the outfield. An aggressive, fast base runner, not afraid to take chances. Oh, he has really lit a fire under this Nationals team.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Harper. Nobody out. Ryan Zimmerman is on deck. And he steps out. Nationals. Of course, Washington was in the American League for seems like a million years. First in war, first in peace, last in the American League. They weren't much there. They left, and they had an expansion team come in, and they moved to Texas. The original Washington team became the Minnesota Twins.
Well, that geography makes my head hurt, Dick.
How about these Nationals, who were the old Montreal Expos?
Yeah.
There'll be a quiz after this inning.
I'll do as well on that quiz as I did all the other quizzes I took, but I think they found a home. Turned the nation's capital back into a baseball city.
Certainly did. Winning the division with the best record in baseball. Here's the 2-2 pitch. 91 miles an hour. And a full count to Bryce Harper. Tying run is at first base. Leadoff single by Jason Worth, who's 1 for 3 on the day. And there's Ryan Zimmerman, who has 1 of the 5 hits today for the Nationals. Three-two pitch. And he strikes out. And that going to second base is Jason Worth as the ball got away from Molina on that pitch in the dirt. So Worth moves into scoring position, and Harper a strikeout victim.
Molina's in pretty good position to block that ball. Just hits awkwardly at the bottom of the chest protector and ricochets over toward the third base dugout, allowing Jason Worth to move into scoring position with 1 out on that strikeout of Bryce Harper.
Call it a wild pitch, and Harper becomes the 8th strikeout victim for Adam Wainwright. But the tying run, as he mentioned, scoring position for Ryan Zimmerman, who has struck out and singled to center field. Zimmerman drove in 95 runs in the regular season. Long look at second for Wainwright. First pitch, breaking ball and a strike. So a power-packed Nationals lineup, and we haven't seen anything today by either club coming close to a home run. That breaking ball just missed inside.
That was the straight downer. Old timers would call that a drop ball. Just stayed off the inside corner the entire time. Occasionally Wainwright will drop his arm angle just a little bit, get a little more right to left action across the strike zone and catch that inside corner, but that one stayed off the plate inside.
Descalso trying to keep Worth close at second base, and a fastball, and it's 1-2. That's Worth, who singled and advanced on a wild pitch after Bryce Harper struck out. Adam LaRoche on deck. 1-2 to Ryan Zimmerman. And the time called, and again, Molina and Wainwright will talk it over. And if you haven't noticed, the Big Bang Theory is not on TBS tonight. In baseball terms, I guess you could say they're taking one for the team. The Big Bang Theory returns Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights after MLB postseason, only on TBS. Very funny. Again, Wainwright working on Zimmerman. Play by Molina, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Those are the plays you don't, again, see in the box score, because you get a runner at third with 1 out. Changes a lot of things. Fly ball can get the tying run in. And Zimmerman strikes out on another curveball. It's been money in the bank for Adam Wainwright today.
Briefly lost his command of it in the second inning, but he's rediscovered it. We heard Steve McCatty talking about Gio Gonzalez getting back into a good rhythm, back into a good groove. I think the same could be said with Adam Wainwright and that curveball.
So 9 strikeouts now for Wainwright. He struck out 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 more in the fourth, and 2 here in the 5th inning. And now looking at Adam LaRoche, who walked and scored the lone Nationals run back in the second. Also fly to center field. 0 for 1 officially. And 1-0 to the veteran first baseman. Two 2-0 now to LaRoche, who led the National League with 10 home runs in the last month of the season. His father Dave was a longtime pitcher in the big leagues, 14 years. His brother Andy played in the minor leagues this season. Chop to first base, fair ball. Alan Crane flips to Wainwright to retire the side, so the Nationals get a leadoff hitter on base on a single, and that'll do it. Bottom of the 5th, 2-1. St. Louis Cardinals, a franchise steeped in championships, leading 2-1 here. Adam Wainwright takes strike one from Gio Gonzalez. Wainwright walked in the second inning when Gonzalez walked 4 batters. Check swing, and the count is 1-1. Wainwright, as we said, with 1 homer and 4 runs batted in. 6 career home runs. The home run he hit this year was against R.A. Dickey of the Mets in September. The bat flies into the 5th row. Well, a different kind of souvenir.
Unexpected souvenir. Fortunately, looks like everybody's okay.
Boy, that could be dangerous.
Oh, it sure can. I mean, that was a whole bat that time. When it really gets dangerous is when the bat splits and you've got a jagged edge flying up into the stands. But young lady right on top of her game over there today. Made a nice play on that errant bat.
Not easy to make a play on a spinning bat like that. Moving along. Well, want to remind you that this postseason, for the first time, MLB Network has Division Series game telecast coming up this Wednesday. Don't miss any of the action in the game you can only see on MLB Network. Go to MLBnetwork.com for schedule and channel number. Two balls and 2 strikes as Gonzalez misses with the breaking ball to Wainwright. John Jay, the top of the order, on deck for the Cardinals. Chases a pitch outside the strike zone. Wainwright goes down. And that is the 3rd strikeout for Gio Gonzalez. And that'll bring John Jay to the plate. Two to 1 game, and all the runs coming in the second inning. The Nationals getting a run on an RBI single by Kurt Suzuki, and the Cardinals coming back on a weird inning without a hit. Wild pitch and a sacrifice fly. And it's John Jay's sacrifice fly that has given the Cardinals their lead here. Takes down low ball 1. He took a called 3rd strike back in the 1st inning. So John Jay, a .305 hitter this year. This is his 3rd year, but he is a .300 career hitter, which is a good sign moving forward that that's the kind of production he will get in that department. 2-1.
Well, one thing John Jay has working in his favor is he's fast. He got 17 infield hits this year, 4 bunt base hits. So even when those times of a season when you're slumping a little bit, if you could just put the ball in play, use that speed, sometimes you can keep your head above water until you do start to swing the bat better.
And even for a team that didn't steal that many bases, they were 13th in the league, had 19 to lead his team. Right now, Gonzalez behind 3-1 to Jay, who fouls off the fastball. 3 of those walks given up by Gonzalez in the second inning. He went to the full count before issuing ball 4. A low pitch, ball 4, and Jay draws a walk, 1 out, base on balls, and that represents a season's high for Gonzalez, his 6th.
Well, we talked about how the conditions are going to change here this afternoon. Watch this baseball as it goes from the shade briefly into the sun and then back into the shade again. I cannot tell you as a hitter how hard it is to try to see the ball out of the pitcher's hand. You see it flash halfway to home plate and then it disappears again, especially when the ball is moving, cutting, sinking, curving. Very tough duty for the hitters right now.
Carlos Beltran takes ball 1 outside. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Game 1, best of 5 here on TBS, the National League Division Series between the Washington Nationals. They had the best record in baseball, 98 wins in the St. Louis Cardinals, trying to spin the magic again. Cardinals winning the World Series in an improbable fashion last year, getting into the second wild card and beating the Atlanta Braves the other night. And it's 2-1 along with Bob Brenly and David Aldridge. Dick Stockton here for the opening game of this series. All the runs coming in the second inning. It's been a pitcher's battle, although both pitchers struggled in that second inning. One and one to Beltran. Beltran, much traveled outfielder. Very big factor offensively for the Cardinals. Takes the breaking ball inside, and it's 2-1. Traded by the Mets to the Giants at the trade deadline last year and signed with the Cardinals as a free agent. An all-star for 7 times, including this season. Fouled out of play, and the count is 2-2. In the Nationals bullpen, Christian Garcia, a rookie, begins to throw. One out walk to John Jay. Cardinals looking to add to their 2-1 lead. Matt Holliday is the on-deck batter. We mentioned Jay leading the Cardinals with 19 stolen bases, widening his lead at first. And there he goes, and the hit and run was on, and the pitch is fouled off. Good jump that time by John Jay.
Real good jump, and the Nationals had the second baseman Danny Espinosa covering on the steal attempt or the hit and run attempt, opening a ginormous hole in that right side of the infield. Carlos Beltran tried to take a shot that way, but fouled it off.
Now Gio Gonzalez getting ready for his 100th pitch of the game. Runner doesn't go, and the 2-2 pitch down low, and 3-2 now to Beltran. 0 for 2 on the day.
Yeah, tough for hitters to see, tough for umpires to see under these conditions as well. It appeared that breaking pitch caught the bottom of the strike zone, but called the ball to run the count full.
So it's 3-2, 1 out. Holliday is on deck. Jay, the base runner. Jay takes off. The pitch, ball 4 outside. And the Cardinals have 2 on with 1 out, and Matt Holliday coming to the plate. So 2 walks in succession and 7 walks in the game for Gonzalez. And again, a visit by Steve McCatty. As we mentioned, Garcia warming up for the Nationals.
Well, in defense of Gio Gonzalez, it looks like he had strike 3 on that pitch that was called ball 3 instead, and ends up walking Beltran on the 3-2 pitch. And now he finds himself staring at the thunder in this Cardinals lineup. Matt Holliday, Alan Craig, Yadier Molina, the next 3 scheduled hitters. Those are the guys that Matt Matheny wants at the plate with runners on base. Here's the questionable pitch. A little bit of a cut fastball, maybe a baby slider. Looked like it caught the bottom of the zone. But once again, extremely tough conditions. Shade, a brief section of light, and then shade again. Kurt Suzuki thought it was strike 3.
Of course, it's been the pattern for Davey Johnson this year. He has not let his starters go all that long and has been quick to go to his bullpen. And that's been his pattern. So here is Matt Holliday, who has walked and bounced to third. And the first pitch, ball 1, 2 on and 1 out. Cardinals leading 2-1 here in the bottom of the 5th. Matt Holliday's numbers with runners in scoring position. John Jay with the lead at second. Beltran at first. And Espinosa trying to cheat over toward the bag at second to keep John Jay close. And as you mentioned, Bob has as good a speed as anyone on this team right now.
It'd be a real risk to try to run right now with runners at first and second and one of your best power hitters on the team at the plate.
on the corner. Fastball and a strike, 1-1.
I mean, that would be one of those situations where you have to be 100% sure you're going to be safe at third base. If you're going to run with Matt Holliday at the plate, you have to be definitely sure you're going to make it.
And at least to keep Jay close enough at second that maybe he wouldn't be able to come around on a hit sharply enough. Inside, 2-1 now.
And that's what Danny Espinosa is trying to do from his second base position. Just kind of bluff Jay back to the bag, maybe a step or two, so that he possibly would not score on a base hit to the outfield. But the byproduct of that is you open a hole on that right side of the field. I mentioned earlier, Holliday hits the ball all over the field,
as so many of the right-handed hitters for the Cardinals do. Well, you talked about situational hitting, which the Cardinals excel at. And we're in that situation here. Jay's lead at second. And the pitch inside, 3-1. And one pitch away from loading the bases for Alan Craig.
John Jay getting a big secondary lead. He's kind of hanging close to the bag because Espinosa is close to him. But once Gonzalez delivers the ball, he's getting a big secondary lead.
Fastball for strike 2. And that runs the count full to Matt Holliday. Here's the 3-2 pitch. The runners go, and the pitch, strike 3, and safe at third base is Jay. And moving to second is Beltran. So the runners were running on 3 and 2. Holliday strikes out, and Jay Speed gets him to third.
I'm a little surprised to see Mike Matheny start the runners in that particular situation, even though they both make it safely, no problem whatsoever. Matt Holliday's a guy that does strike out quite frequently, 132 times on the regular season. It's always a risky strike him out, throw him out proposition, but Jay with a big enough jump that he's able to beat Suzuki's throw to third.
So a double steal with Jay going to third and Beltran to second. 2 down to Alan Craig, who is the top hitter in the National League with runners in scoring position, batting .400. He's got 2 in scoring position here. Ball 1 inside. And Kurt Suzuki has been sliding around like a goalie behind the plate in the dirt, preventing pitches from getting away. One did.
We talk about range at other positions, and it's very obvious to tell an outfielder that has good range, but sometimes for a catcher it's just a matter of a few inches this way or that way getting in front of those errant pitches.
Craig fouls off the fastball, and a good pitch to hit for the first baseman. 1 ball and 1 strike to Craig, who has lined to center field and struck out against Gio Gonzalez. 5th inning, the Cardinals trying to add to their 2-1 lead, have 2 out, runners at second and third. Gonzalez has walked 7 and struck out 4. And a pop fly to the right side, and LaRoche makes the catch, and that'll end the threat for the Cardinals. They leave 2 runners in scoring position, and after 5 innings, St. Louis 2 and Washington 1. Cardinals lead the Nationals 2-1 into the top of the sixth. Get your team's news first. Get the Team Stream app from Bleacher Report, and you'll never miss another big moment with your team. Download Team Stream on the App Store or Google Play. To the sixth inning we go. Dick Stockton along with Bob Brenly and David Aldridge and Michael Morse 0 for 2 leading off against Adam Wainwright. And a call strike, so it's 2-1 Cardinals. The Nationals have out hit St. Louis 5-1. And we have not had an extra base hit in this game. One and one to Morse.
You notice Michael Morse stands about as far away from the inside corner of the plate as any right-handed hitter in the National League, almost trying to bait pitchers into working that outside corner. But you'll notice as he strides into the pitch, he dives a little bit toward home plate, and with those long arms and that long bat, he can do that to you.
And he goes the opposite field for a single. So 6 singles for the Nationals. The leadoff man is on here in the sixth inning. Opposite field base hit.
Big out in the ball game right here, getting the very dangerous Alan Craig to pop it up to the right side of the infield. Huge sigh of relief from that Nationals bench. Had a base open right there. You could have walked Alan Craig, but then you have to go after Yadier Molina with the bases loaded. That time the decision worked out well for the Nationals.
And a missed opportunity for the Cardinals, and now the Nationals want to take advantage of it. They have Ian Desmond, who's 2 for 2 with a pair of singles. Runner at first, nobody out, and the first pitch is ball 1. Both of Desmond's hits have been to center field. Both teams now have bullpen activity in progress. And we're getting to that time of the game where the starters have, one pitcher has already thrown over 100 pitches. And taking a look at the bullpen, Lance Lynn, we mentioned he is the 18-game winner and a starter who will be in the bullpen for this series. And Mike Matheny said you can use him in any role. Craig Stammen is warming up for the Nationals. 2 balls, no strikes to Desmond. Morse, the tying run, is on at first base. In the air to the right side on the outfield grass. Descalso, not easy now with the sun moving toward that way, makes the catch, and Desmond is retired for the first time. 1 out, 1 on, and Espinoza coming up.
Yeah, Descalso with the shades on, battling that sun out there in shallow right field, hoping that he would get called off on that pop-up, but he's able to stay with it and make the catch as he backpedals into right field.
So Espinoza, who has struck out twice against Wainwright, the batter, switch hitter. One and 0. Adam Wainwright, who grew up an ardent Braves fan in South Georgia, but was traded to the Cardinals after 4 years in the Atlanta farm system. Played basketball, as you might expect from someone at 6'7". It's pretty good at it. There's a strike on the inside corner, 1 and 1. So the long ball of the Nationals been nullified. We haven't had, again, other than a fly ball caught on the warning track by Bryce Harper, we haven't had anything really hit deep in this game. Michael Morse with the lead at first, 1 out. Espinoza fouls it back, and it's 1 and 2.
Dick, I think you can attribute a large part of that to the fact that we've got 2 really good pitchers on the mound. Even though they're not on top of their games today, they're still very, very effective with their wildness. In the case of Gio Gonzalez, And the other factor is the visibility. It's such a huge part of the game. Your ability to recognize pitches quickly, to track them all the way into the hitting zone. And when that is disrupted for any reason, in the case of the Shadows today, it makes squaring that ball up very hard. A lot of weak contact, but not a lot of solid contact.
And Espinosa makes no contact as he strikes out for the third time. And there are two gone. Morse remains at first. Kurt Suzuki coming up.
Wicked curveball at 74. Seems like it breaks the hardest once it gets into that hitting zone. Ends up bouncing just behind the point of home plate. Molina there to pick it cleanly out of the dirt.
That's the 10th strikeout for Adam Wainwright. And how delighted he must be to be making a contribution after what he has gone through with the Tommy John surgery. Made 32 starts, but this obviously the most important one he's made all year. Here is Suzuki. 1-0 to Suzuki, who singled home a run back in the second inning. The only run that the Nationals have scored, and the Cardinals answered it with two of their own in that frame. Michael Morse, who led off with a base hit. Now with two down. In fact, the last three innings, the Nationals have started the innings with base hits, only to come up empty. Breaking ball for a strike, 1-1.
For that Adam Wainwright curveball, you see right there, he's got his index finger completely out of the play. He's holding that ball with just his thumb and his middle finger to make sure he's really pulling down at the point of release to get that over the top rotation, causing that wicked break as that ball gets into the hitting zone.
Roger Bernardina is in the on deck circle for the Nationals. There are two out and will come up if Suzuki can keep this inning alive and bat for the pitcher Gio Gonzalez. 2 balls and a strike to count to Suzuki. 1 for 2 on the afternoon.
The pinch hitters have been one of the strength of the Nationals ball club this season. As a group, they've hit .288 with 14 doubles, a triple, 4 homers, and 26 driven in. Really good numbers.
Number 1 in the league in that department. Here's a pop-up drifting out of play. So it's 2-2 to the Nationals catcher. Rhythmic applause and the cheering and the waving of the white towels for the very decorated Cardinal fans here, painting their faces, and why not? 2 balls and 2 strikes to Suzuki. 2-1 the game. Cardinals leading, and the runner at first. 2 down, and a full count now, and that pitch in the dirt. Another stop by Molina. You see directing the outfielders from the Cardinal dugout.
Trying to get him to back up a step or two. That signal with the hand behind the head means no doubles. We don't want to allow the Nationals to hit a ball over our heads in the outfield where Morse could possibly score from first.
Morse is off on the 3-2 pitch, and it's fouled off. And the count remains 3-2. So Michael Morse, who had an injury-riddled career with Seattle as a prospect and really blossomed with the Nationals late in the 2010 season. In fact, he was 31 home run career high man last season. He's at first. 3-2 to Suzuki with 2 out, and Morse will be off again on the pitch. There he goes, the 3-2 pitch on the fist and a foul ball. So we'll do it again. And as Gio Gonzalez has gone over the 100 pitch mark, the next delivery by Adam Wainwright will be his 100th pitch of the day. Again, Roger Bernardina on deck. And if Suzuki To keep things alive for Washington, Bernardino will get a chance. There goes Morris, 3-2 pitch in tight, and ball 4, and very close to Suzuki, who walks on the 3-2 pitch. Runners now at first and second as Morse goes to second, and we'll have the pinch hitter.
Old-fashioned chin music right there. Not what Adam Wainwright had in mind, but a fastball that sails up and into the Nationals catcher, and he goes down to the dirt.
So now Derek Lilliquist, that's Mike Matheny going to the mound to talk to Wainwright. And we're going to have a pitching change right now. Lance Lynn is going to come in the game, and listen to the hand for Adam Wainwright as he leaves the mound. Droid Razor M by Motorola, and Lance Lynn, who had 6 relief appearances and a record of 18-7, started and won his last 4 outings of the year, but here he is coming out of the bullpen with a tying run at second, go ahead run at first, and facing Roger Bernardina, the pinch hitter for Gio Gonzalez. Bernardina hitting .291 on the year at 5 homers and 25 runs batted in. And Lynn's first pitch is inside for a ball.
Yes, Lynn, big arm, throws that fastball in the low to mid-90s with a little bit of tailing action, has a good curveball, good straight changeup, and will mix in an occasional slider.
So Mike Matheny said you can use Lance Lynn in a lot of different roles, and here he is in a middle inning situation with the team trying to nurse a 1-run lead, but falls behind Bernardina 2-0. Bernardina with a career high .291 this year, and mostly played when Morse and Worth were injured. First time he's faced Lance Lynn. And now it's 3-0 to Bernardina with Jason Worth, the leadoff hitter, on deck for the Nationals. Washington trying to climb back in this tight game, down 2-1. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to the pinch hitter, Roger Bernardina. And the bases are loaded as Michael Morse will go to third base, Kurt Suzuki to second, Bernardina on at first, and Jason Worth coming up with the tying run at third and the go-ahead run at second.
You just never know how players, pitchers are going to react in the postseason. Lance Lynn, very calm, cool, and collected all season long, but you bring him into a postseason game in the 6th inning. Possibly the game hanging on the line, just can't find the strike zone to Bernardino.
And the first pitch, that's a strike on the inside corner. And a sigh of relief as Lance Lynn finally gets a pitch over after walking Bernardino on 4 pitches. Worth today is 1 for 3. Singled his last time up. Bases loaded, 2 out here in the 6th inning. And Lynn now is ahead 0-2 on Worth. Line drive out of play, and it remains 0-2. Worth in his career has a hit and 4 trips against Lance Lynn. One and 2. That was close.
Actually might have nipped the top corner of the strike zone. 95 just off that outside corner.
Here's the 1-2. And staying alive is Jason Worth. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 out. Fernando Salas is now up and throwing for the Cardinals. Craig Stammen, who has been throwing earlier, pitching in the bullpen for Washington. Morse at 3rd. Suzuki at 2nd. Bernardino at 1st. Strike 3. So after walking the pinch hitter, Jason Worth goes down on strikes. The Nationals lead the bases loaded, and the Cardinals maintain the 1-run lead. 2-1 in favor of the Cardinals as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning, and going to the bullpen for the first time, Davey Johnson. Craig Stammen, the 28-year-old from the University of Dayton, appeared in 59 games, actually led the Nationals bullpen with 6 wins. Last pitched on Monday when he struck out all 6 Phillies he faced. And facing Yadier Molina here in the 6th. Call strike.
Sinker, slider, curveball combination from Stammen. He throws an occasional changeup, but basically he's going to try to throw you sinkers and sliders, get you to hit the ball on the ground.
Gio Gonzalez worked 5 innings, gave up 2 runs, both earned, only 1 hit. And that hit did not even occur in the inning in which the Cardinals scored their 2 runs, the second, and he ran into control problems. He walked for that inning. Check swing, but a call strike, and it's 1-2 to Molina, who has walked, scored on a wild pitch, and popped to second. David Freese on deck for St. Louis. Lifted into the air to shallow center field. Bryce Harper coming on and making the catch for out number 1 as we check in with Matt Weiner. Matt. All right, Matt, thank you for the update. 1 out to David Freese, who takes down low ball 1. Freese has the only Cardinal hit of the day. A leadoff single through the hole into left field in the 4th inning. Also fly to center field. 2-1, the Cardinals lead on 1 hit. And a check swing, but a foul at the plate, and it's 1-1 to Freese. Adam Wainwright, who struck out 10 batters today and giving up only 1 run, pitched his heart out, and the Cardinals clinging to the 2-1 lead. Check swing down low, and it's 2-1 to Freese. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. And a chilly day in St. Louis. Temperatures in the 40s when we came to the ballpark, Bob. Thought we need parkas, but it warmed up to 52, and we're comfortable. There's a looper into left field, and it's going to drop in front of Michael Morse for a base hit. 1 out, single by David Freese, who has both Cardinal hits today.
I always felt these conditions favored the pitcher, Dick, because they're moving constantly. Obviously, their body temperature is going to be okay out there on the mound. The catcher as well, moving on every pitch. But if you happen to be a defender that's standing out there not moving for innings at a time, and you come up to the plate, your hands are cold, your body's a little bit stiffer than it was when the ball game started. I always felt that the cooler the temperature, the more the advantage shifted to the pitcher.
And you talked about the shadows, the cool weather. Nothing conducive to the long ball or a lot of base hits in this game.
Or even solid contact for that matter. We just haven't seen very many balls on the barrel of the bat today.
And we have not had an extra base hit. There have been 8 hits in the game, 6 off the bats of the Nationals, 2 for the Cardinals, and all have been singles. 0-1 to Daniel Descalso, who has walked, scored a run, and took a called 3rd strike. That was against Gio Gonzalez, now facing Craig Stammen. Fly ball right field, delayed by Worth, now going back to the track. Jason Worth leaps and makes the catch. And getting back to first base in a hurry is Freese. Good throw back by Worth to the infield. And a fly ball. Worth hesitated, made the catch on the jump, and that's the closest thing we've had to a home run.
A leap of faith for Jason Worth to look off of that baseball as he went back to the wall and then try to find it again. Looking back up into the afternoon sun, you can see he gets it on the heel of the glove manages to squeeze it tightly enough so when he crashes into the barrier, the ball actually stayed in the glove somehow.
And how many times have we seen the ball come out when it's caught or attempted to be caught in the heel?
And what I really liked about that play, Dick, is he immediately came off the wall throwing to first base. He didn't even look to see where the runner was. He knows that on that particular play, David Freese wants to get out there as far as he can and try to score if that ball bounces off the wall.
Terrific instinctive play by Jason Worth, and diving back to first is Freese.
He makes that catch, hits the wall, and immediately comes up firing to first base, hoping to catch David Freese out there in no man's land.
So here is Pete Kozma, shortstop, who has walked and hit into a double play and takes the strike. So Pete Kozma, who grew up in Oklahoma, but his dad was a Detroit native and took him to see all of the Detroit sports teams. And Kozma saying before the game that the one thing I haven't done, I want to see the Detroit Red Wings play in Hockey Town someday. Pitch inside, and it hits him. And Kozma will go down to first base. And we're going to see a pinch hitter for Lance Lynn. Here it is again.
It's a tailing fastball that tailed a little bit too far that time for Stammen. Putting runners at first and second for the pinch hitter, Skip Schumacher.
When we talked to Mike Matheny about Schumacher, and he said, you know, I haven't given him a chance to get into play that much, and he has really handled the fact that he has had his playing time curtailed professionally.
Well, he talked about Schumacher and Matt Carpenter, a couple of guys off the bench that he just hasn't been able to get many at-bats down the stretch, but expecting something from him in this particular situation. 2
on and 2 out. Schumacher swings and misses for a strike. So Freese, who singled with 1 out, is at second. Kozma, who was hit by a pitch, on at first. And here is Schumacher, who hit .276 on the year and was 5 for 26 with 3 runs batted in as a pinch hitter. By the way, Edward Mujica is warming up for the Cardinals in the bullpen. And it's fouled off. And Stammen is ahead of Schumacher 0-2.
Well, so far this game is setting up exactly the way Mike Matheny would like it to. With the addition of Edward Mujica with that trade with the Miami Marlins, it's given him his 7th inning guy, leading the way to Mitchell Boggs in the 8th inning and ultimately to Jason Mott, the closer.
And for a while, as you pointed out, the bullpen was a big jumble for Mike Matheny until Mujica came on the scene.
Well, sometimes the addition of one guy will put everybody in a more comfortable position or more comfortable spot in the bullpen, and then everybody thrives just because of the addition of that one guy.
So 0-2, the count to Schumacher, the pinch hitter. That's down low. They're both catchers today, and you would know, having been a catcher yourself, how busy they've been on stopping throws and pitches.
You know, a breaking ball or an off-speed pitch, you always anticipate that one going in the dirt. I've been impressed by the catchers today blocking fastballs in the dirt, which is something you never expect. You would assume a major league pitcher can get the fastball 60 feet 6 inches of the plate in the air, but that's not always the case.
Cardinals leading 2-1, 2 on and 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and Schumacher strikes out. And that will end it. So Craig Stammen pitches out of damage. We go to the 7th, still 2-1.
Wainwright needed a little help in that 6th inning from his bullpen. Lance Lynn comes in to strike out Jason Worth with the bases loaded. And I tell you, this is a team sport played by individuals, but right there, a big hug for Lance Lynn from Adam Wainwright for stranding those runners.
And here is Edward Mujica. You talked about key acquisition. 4.38 earned run average for the Marlins, 1.03 when he joined the Cardinals on July the 31st. And he'll face some dangerous hitters here in the 7th. Bryce Harper, Ryan Zimmerman, and Adam LaRoche in a 2-1 game. Swinging at the first pitch. Great play made by Descalso, going to his left. Throws out Harper for out number 1, and that is the defensive play of the game.
Oh, a great recovery at the end of that play by Daniel Descalso. A lot of topspin on that ground ball. Looked like it was headed through into right field. The fully sprawling dive to his left gets that ball quickly up to his feet to throw out the speedy Bryce Harper at first base. That's about as good as you can do it right there.
And the reaction from Mike Matheny and the Cardinals in the dugout, and that's what Descalso brings to the dance. Very consistent, aggressive defensive play.
Yeah, no matter where you play him. Mike Matheny has a number of guys on this roster that can play multiple positions, and Daniel Descalso has played all over the infield, some corner outfield, but seems to have found a home at second base.
So 1 out, and Ryan Zimmerman, count 1-0 to Zimmerman, who is 1 for 3 with a single, struck out twice earlier, and is 3 for 9 against Mujica as Mujica falls behind 2-0 and a meeting at the mound. Mujica pitched 2/3 of an inning in Friday's wild card game. Came in the 7th inning and gave up a run. 28-year-old right-hander from Venezuela. Rounder to Cosma. 2 ground balls, 2 outs here in the 7th. Zimmerman retired, and Adam LaRoche will come to the plate. And the Cardinal bullpen, double-barreled action now. Mark Zepchinski and Mitchell Boggs. As you mentioned, this game right now working right into Mike Matheny's plans for the bullpen in the late stages. Here's LaRoche, 0 for 2, walked his first time up, and he scored the only run of the game for the Nationals back in the 2nd. Strike. Boggs, the righty, Zepchinski, the southpaw, and the only lefty in the Cardinal bullpen. There's a fair ball hit by LaRoche, and making the play is Alan Craig. A 1-2-3 inning, all on ground balls. We go to the Cardinals 7th, still 2-1. Back in St. Louis for our Geico game summary. 2-1 the Cardinals lead. Adam Wainwright striking out 10. Gio Gonzalez giving up only 1 hit, having control problems in the second inning. Desmond is 2 for 3. So is David Freese. And both teams now 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position.
I think you may see the offenses get better at bats from this point of the game forward. The sun and the shadows really not much of a factor at this point. The lights gradually taking over for the shaded areas. Should be much easier for the hitters to at least see the ball. Although now you're facing the tail end of the bullpen. That makes it tough to hit again.
Craig Stammen on for his second inning facing John Jay, who's 0 for 1 officially in the game. He knocked in what's proved to be the go-ahead run for the Cardinals way back in the second inning with a sacrifice fly. Has also struck out and walked and stolen base in his last appearance. So it'll be Jay, Beltran, and Holiday against Stammen. No activity in the Washington bullpen here in the bottom of the 7th. There's a call strike. 92 miles an hour on that delivery. 1-2 to Jay. Game in which the Cardinals have managed only 2 hits, both off the bat of David Freese, and none coming in the second inning when they scored the 2 runs, and that was the inning in which the Nationals scored their lone run. Ground ball, big hop, knocked down by LaRoche, throw to first, safe at first base. A bad hop. Adam LaRoche did the best he could to knock it down. Stammen got over there, but on at first base is John Jay.
He hit like a bullet right down that first baseline. That last hop really came up. Adam LaRoche almost in self-defense got the glove up, knocked the ball down. Could not initially find it, and the little backhanded shovel toss onto Stammen is late anyway, but also off the mark. John Jay reaches here to lead off the bottom of the 7th. Everything looked pretty routine until that last instant when that ball took the last bounce, came up near neck high, and just not enough time to get the speedy John Jay at first base.
You would think the ball hit that hard, and the way it came up, it would be ruled a hit. They have not officially ruled on it yet. Anyway, here is the switch hitting Carlos Beltran, who is batting left-handed for the first time of the game. 0 for 2 with a walk and a stolen base, and they give LaRoche an error on the play. So John Jay reaches on an error, first error of the series. Beltran with a base hit to center field. Rounding second and holding at second is Jay. So Beltran with a base hit, and the Cardinals have runners at first and second, nobody out in the 7th, looking for some insurance runs.
One of the harder hit balls we've seen all afternoon. That time a line drive back up the middle of the field. Looked like John Jay had an idea about advancing to third, but did not want to challenge the arm of Bryce Harper out there in center field, especially with nobody out in the air.
So the Cardinals now with Beltran on at first base. And now 3 hits in the game, and Jay the runner at second. Here's Matt Holliday, who has walked, bounced out, and struck out. Ryan Matthews is up in the Washington bullpen, and Mitchell Boggs, as prescribed, is throwing in the Cardinal pen. 1-0 the count to Matt Holliday. Cardinals leading 2-1. Nobody out in first and second, and the first time they've been in that position today. Chasing that pitch low and away, and it's 1-1 to Holliday.
Good hard slider that time from Craig Stammen. I don't know if that ball was ever in the strike zone. Started low and away, continued to move farther low and away, and Holliday, expecting a fastball, just couldn't hold up his swing.
Jay at second, Beltran at first. And time called at the plate. One of the two hits for Holiday against Stammen was a home run, and this one hits him. And Holiday will go to first base, and the bases will be loaded with nobody out, and the cleanup hitter, Alan Craig, coming up.
Just clipped the jersey of Matt Holiday. They're the second batter that Stammen has plunked since coming into the ballgame. Just a lot of tailing action on that fastball, trying to be a little too fine to the inside corner, and gets away from him, loading him up.
And Davey Johnson comes out and gets Stammen, and Ryan Matthews will be coming in as the third pitcher of the game for the Nationals when we come back. I know, Matt, you will. And Yankees, who edged the Orioles to win the AL East, now facing each other in the ALDS. Meanwhile, the bases are loaded with nobody out, and Alan Craig, again, the top hitter in the National League with runners in scoring position. And a ground ball hit right to short, going home for the force. And everyone is safe out at home plate. So Craig on the first pitch grounds out Ian Desmond to Curtin Suzuki for the force at the plate, and a very big first out, Bob.
Oh, no question about it. Alan Craig very aggressively chasing that splitter down and away. It looked like the Nationals were set up in double play depth, or rather at double play depth, but the ball was hit so hard that Ian Desmond made the decision to cut that run off at home plate rather than turn the double play and allow a run to score.
So there's one out now, and the bases remain loaded. Craig is at first base. Matt Holiday at second. And Beltran now at third. And here's Yadier Molina, who walked, scored on a wild pitch, popped up and flied out. Gets jammed, and a ground ball to third base. Zimmerman over to second for one, and a double play. And the Washington Nationals get out of it. Cardinals had the bases loaded, nobody out, trying to add to a 2-1 lead, and they don't score. All right, Matt, thank you very much. And Michael Morse reaches on a ball that is misplayed by Pete Kozma, the shortstop, and it'll be an error charged to Kozma.
Ground ball hit right off the end of the bat, hit him in the heel of the glove. Looked like it came up and hit him in the throat or the face or the chin or somewhere. Ricochets far enough away to allow Michael Morse to reach leading off the inning. Yeah, got him up on the side of the head.
So a runner, tying runners at first base for the Nationals. Mitchell Boggs has come in here in the 8th inning to face the Nationals, and Ian Desmond is 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. 2-1 the score in favor of the Cardinals, and time called, and Molina will go out to mound to talk to Boggs. So a game with some incredible turn of events. First you get Lance Lynn, who strikes out Worth with the bases loaded to save things for the Cardinals, and then you get bases loaded, none out, a force at the plate, and 3 outs on 2 pitches to end the inning.
Oh yeah, and a great feed this time by Ryan Zimmerman. The underhanded throw on to Danny Espinosa, who hangs in there tough, leaps over the sliding runner. What a nice double play for the Nationals right there.
Just when you thought the Cardinals would get some insurance runs, the Nationals hang in there, trailing 2-1 here in the 8th inning, and they get the leadoff man on. Ian Desmond, the batter, and Morse on at first, and Mitchell Boggs trying to keep him close. Mark Zepchinski, who was up earlier in the bullpen, the left-hander, starting to throw again for the Cardinals. Fastball down the middle, strike. 0-1 to Desmond. Davey Johnson, the old school, hard-nosed former second baseman, managed 4 teams into the postseason. Only Billy Martin has done it other than Davey Johnson in the history of baseball. That pitch misses, and it's 1-1.
He made so much about the fact that he has some young, inexperienced players on his roster, but you think back to that '86 Mets team. He had a Darryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden and a young right-handed pitcher named Ron Darling.
Yes.
So he's not unaccustomed to working with youngsters getting their first taste of the postseason.
He has been had the magic wand everywhere he's been in that regard. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and there's a looper into center field for a base hit. Rounding second, and Morse will go to third base, and he represents the tying run. So a single by Ian Desmond, his 3rd hit of the game, and with nobody out, the Nationals have first and third.
Pitch is actually on the inside part of the plate at 97 miles per hour. Boggs very much a power pitcher, and Desmond able to get inside of it and just loop it into shallow right field, putting Nationals on the corners here with nobody out.
So sometimes the best laid plans. Mike Matheny figuring he's going to go with the Lynn, Boggs, and Jason Mott, and then all of a sudden the Nationals are spoiling the formula here, as Danny Espinosa, who has struck out 3 times, facing Mitchell Boggs. Oh, 0-1 to Espinosa. And this crowd has quieted almost to a man and woman and child here in this park. Did I leave anyone out?
I don't think so. Somebody brought their pets today.
And there's a bunt, a beauty, and Boggs throw to first base, and a good play made by Descalso on the bounce. Or check that. That was Alan Craig who made the play, and a terrific play on the short hop. The sacrifice, however, moves runners into scoring position.
189 strikeouts during the regular season, 3 on the day for Danny Espinosa. He decides that the best thing he could possibly do to help his team is to put down a bunt. Michael Morse tried to read it, but ends up holding at third base. However, Ian Desmond moves into scoring position now for Kurt Suzuki.
So Morris is at third and Ian Desmond is at second with one out. Tying run in this 2-1 Cardinal lead for the Nationals is at third. The go ahead run at second here in the 8th inning. It was a chopper, foul. It was foul at the plate, even though it bounced into the field of play. And the Nationals, in their roster moves for this series, Chad Tracy was activated, and he is on deck and scheduled to pinch hit in the pitcher spot up next. There's Tracy. Inning started with a ground ball misplayed by Pete Kozma, an error. Ian Desmond followed with a single to right field. Then the sacrifice by Espinosa. Suzuki has reached twice today, once with an RBI single back in the second, driving in the only Washington run. One and one now to Suzuki. Bullpen activity, as you might imagine, would increase. Tyler Clippard now throwing for Washington. And Jason Mott has joined Zepchinski in the Cardinal pen. Foul back. And it's 1-2 to Suzuki. Here's the Cardinal pen. Crowd looking for a strikeout from Boggs. Two and two. They very nearly had it.
Yeah, crowd wanted it. Good pitcher's pitch. Started right on the outside corner, broke off the plate low and away, hoping to get Suzuki to chase. But off the plate away.
2-2. One out. National runners at second and third. Cardinals lead 2-1 in the 8th. They get it now. Suzuki strikes out for the second out here in the 8th. Big strikeout for Mitchell Boggs.
'97 just rushed it right past the Nationals catcher. Boggs with one of the big arms out of that Cardinal bullpen. He showed it right there.
And we're going to have a pitching change as Mike Matheny going to the mound, and signals, I believe, for Zepchinski as Chad Tracy announced as the pinch hitter in the pitcher spot. We'll take a break right now. Big strikeout there. Zepchinski coming in for the Cardinals. 2-1, 8th inning. time. MLB Network has Division Series game telecast coming up this Wednesday. Don't miss any of the action in a game you can only see on MLB Network. Go to MLBnetwork.com for schedule and channel number. And there is Mark Chepsinski, 27-year-old from Anaheim, California, pitched a third of an inning Friday against the Braves, and his 9th straight scoreless outing. And here he is to face Tyler Moore.
As a role Zebchinski, or as his teammates call him, Scrabble, is very accustomed to, coming in facing that one left-handed hitter in a clutch time in the ball game and then giving way usually to Jason Mott or Mitchell Boggs late in the game.
So here is Moore, who hit .263 in 75 games, had 10 homers and 29 runs batted in. Rookie who came up in early June and stayed with the big club. Runners are at second and third, 2 out. Here in the 8th inning, Cardinals lead by 1 run. First pitch is down low, ball 1. An exciting first game to this best-of-5 series. And the bullpens now holding center stage. Foul out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike to Moore. $18 runners have been left on base in this game. And all of the runs occurred way back in the 2nd inning, when the Nationals got a run and the Cardinals answered with 2. 2-1 to the pinch hitter. Chad Tracy was announced, and Moore batting for him. Chases the pitch way outside, and it's 2-2. And a line drive to right field coming on in. It's a base hit. Beltran throws it back in, but 2-run score, and moving to second on the throw to the plate is Tyler Moore. A 2-run pinch single, and the Nationals have taken a 3-2 lead here in the 8th inning with a clutch single off of Mark Zebchinski.
When you get down to this point of the ball game, as a pitcher and catcher, you just try to stay away from a hitter's strength. Moore is a dead pull hitter. Just stuck his bat out there, poked that outside offering into right field. Beltran with one of the better throwing arms in all of baseball, but even he can't get Ian Desmond, who got a great jump out there at second base and scores easily.
So Morse and Desmond score, and it's 3-2 as the Nationals take the lead here in the 8th, and Jason Worth taking a call strike. And this crowd totally deflated at this point, Bob, as the Cardinals have fought off the Nationals at every turn until now.
Just a real nice piece of hitting by Tyler Moore. Going away from his own strength, maybe anticipating what Zebchinski was going to try to do against him, and just stuck the bat out there and poked that ball into right field. As I mentioned, great jump by Ian Desmond at second base, and alert base running by Moore to get himself into scoring position as that throw went through to the plate.
And Moore on at second base with 2 down. And strike 3, the ball gets away, and Molina makes the put out, but the damage is done as the Nationals on Tyler Moore's 2-run pinch single take a 3-2 lead into the bottom of the 8th. The Nationals lead 3-2. Cardinals batting in the bottom of the 8th inning. And who will become a legend this October? Cast your postseason legend vote at MLBFanCave.com. And both of the runs were unearned for the Nationals as Michael Morse reached on an error by Pete Kozma, the shortstop, to start it off. And now Tyler Clippard is on for the Nationals. He is the 4th pitcher of the day for Davey Johnson, facing David Freese with the Cardinals down by 1. Ball 1 to Freese.
Hard sinker, hard cutter, really good straight changeup for Tyler Clippard. He will mix in an occasional breaking pitch, but really relies heavily on the fastball and the straight changeup. Really struggled down the stretch at the end of the regular season.
Here's a call, strike 1-1. Clippard was one of the game's best setup men last season. A 27-year-old from Newport Richey, Florida. One pitch, and it's 2-1 to Freese. Right now you have to look at last inning when the Cardinals had the bases loaded and nobody out, and Alan Craig hit a shot and they got the force at home, and then Yadier Molina hit into a 6-4 3-double play to end the threat. Here's a ground ball hit to Zimmerman at third, and safe at first base. The throw is in the dirt and Freese reaches. Ryan Zimmerman hesitated on his throw, and Freese is on.
We talked about that throwing motion on routine plays earlier in the ball game. Here's another perfect example. Ball hit right to him. Everything looked to be in order. Just that very odd, unusual throwing stroke that he has on a routine ball. The elbow goes up, the arm comes through, and this time LaRoche can't help him over there at first base as Freese reaches on the air.
So the Nationals making an error last inning. Error on the first baseman Adam LaRoche. And then the Cardinals making a big error with Morse reaching in the top of the 8th. And now Freese reaches on an error by Zimmerman. And here is Descalso. And we're going to have a pinch runner. Your man Chambers, who you talked to in the clubhouse before the game, Adron Chambers.
Absolutely.
What'd you say to him?
He's just glad to be here. I said, good to see you again, because he was around last year, but he said, yeah, I don't care how I get on this roster. I just want to be here at this time of year.
And showing bunt and taking ball 1 is Descalso, and charging was Ryan Zimmerman from third and Adam LaRoche from first. He said, call him like a wild card, you know, somehow, some way.
Yeah, the secret weapon. They're going to find a way to get you into the ball game, and here it is.
I didn't want to eavesdrop, but diving back is Chambers. Adron Chambers appeared in 41 games for the Cardinals this year. And he had a lot of postseason experience last year when he played in 11 games for St. Louis. Descalso punts this foul, and it's 1-1. So Chambers representing the tying run at first here in the bottom of the 8th inning against Tyler Clippard. Jose Oquendo flashing the signs to Daniel Descalso. He's walked and scored a run today. And there's the bunt back to the mound. Clippard looks at second, throws to first, and the sacrifice successful by Daniel Descalso moves Chambers, the pinch runner, to second with 1 out.
Clippard with a brief look at second base. Chambers got a pretty good jump. It was going to be a close play at second, and if the other team's going to give you an out, take an out. try to get that lead runner at second base, all of a sudden you're paving the way for a big inning. So Clippard decides to take the sure out at first base. And it'll now be Pete Kozma, the shortstop, to take the at bat with a runner in scoring position.
So he allowed the Nationals to get the leadoff runner on with an error, looking to redeem himself here with the tying run at second and 1 out in the speedster Chambers. Clippard misses with his first pitch. Kozma's been on base twice today. He walked and was hit by a pitch, bounced into a double play in his other plate appearance. Matt Carpenter is on the on-deck circle as a possible pinch hitter. The ball in the dirt. Good stop again by both catchers. Have played well behind the plate today. Suzuki especially. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Pitcher spot is next, and Matt Carpenter on deck. Good pitch and a strike there. 2-1 to Pete Kozma.
Maybe not quite a good pitch, but a great job of receiving that pitch by Kurt Suzuki to hold it right there near the edge of the strike zone and get the call from Paul Emmett.
Two one. Popped up right side. LaRoche. And he makes the play for the second out. So Kozma is retired. 2 down. So here is Matt Carpenter, who will pinch hit with 2 out now, and the pinch runner Chambers on at second base. So Schumacher, the earlier pinch hitter, struck out. And here is Matt Carpenter, who hit 294. Nationals leading 3-2, getting 2 big runs in the top of the 8th inning.
I mentioned Mike Matheny bemoaning the fact he couldn't get more at bats for Skip Schumacher down the stretch. He mentioned Matt Carpenter in that same sentence, another guy that struggled to find playing time down the stretch.
But has an opportunity here to get the Cardinals back in this game. First pitch, call strike by Clippard. Big advantage if you're the visiting team and you win one of the first 2 games on the road, knowing you're going to be coming home for 3. And the Nationals right now are in that position, leading the Cardinals 3-2. Foul ball out of play, and Clippard is ahead 0-2 on Matt Carpenter. Inside.
That's where most teams try to pitch Matt Carpenter. Fastballs in and especially up above the hands. Real good low ball hitter, especially on pitches out over the plate and down. Has a little trouble catching up to that high hard one.
There's Chambers, pinch runner at second after Freese reached on an error. Carpenter, who had 11 RBIs as a pinch hitter this year, including 5 doubles. With the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 away. Stays alive as he fouls off that fastball from Clippard. Cardinals 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position today. And that's been a big factor. And remember, they had the bases loaded and nobody out in the 7th. Strike 3, catches the outside corner, and Matt Carpenter doesn't like that call and has a few words for the home plate umpire, Paul Emmel. That'll retire the side. Cardinals leave the tying run at second. We go to the 9th. Washington is up by a run. All right, Matt, thank you very much. And Jason Mott will come on. And the Cardinals and Mike Matheny were hoping Mott would come in a save situation right now. Instead, his team is down 3-2 and tied for the National League lead with 42 saves this year with Craig Kimbrell and facing Bryce Harper here in the top of the 9th inning. And a call strike to Harper, who today has gone 0 for 4, struck out twice and robbed of a hit by Descalso. Matt Carpenter moving to third base and will bat in the number 9 spot in the order. So the pitcher spot is in the 6th position in the Cardinal batting order.
Everything is hard. The four-seam fastball averaged around 97 miles per hour. He throws a cut fastball around 92. Don't expect to see anything off speed.
Friday picked up his 7th career postseason save. And he moved into the closer role in late August last year, in the year in which Tony La Russa didn't really identify who the closer was. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Harper leading off here in the 9th inning. Cue down the left field line, foul. It remains 1-2. Ryan Zimmerman and Adam LaRoche to follow.
Mott is a converted catcher. When you hit 191 in 264 minor league games with 4 homers, you find your way to the pitcher's mound if you have an arm like Jason Mott, and he's made the transformation and is rapidly becoming one of the better closers in the National League with that violent delivery and that overpowering fastball.
In the air to left field. Matt Holliday will make the play, and there's one down. Drew Storen, the closer for the Nationals, is warming up and ready to face the Cardinals in the bottom of the 9th inning. There is Storen as Ryan Zimmerman comes to the plate against Mott. So here is Zimmerman, who's had some success against Jason Mott. He's 2 for 4, including a home run. Strike 1 to him. Nationals scored a run in the 2nd inning. Cardinals answered with 2 without getting a hit. It remained that way until rookie Tyler Moore with a 2-run pinch single in the 8th inning. Chopper to shortstop. Cosma makes the play to throw out Zimmerman for out number 2. 2 down here in the top of the 9th inning.
Ball hit to the backhand of Pete Cosma, gets over in the hole, plants his feet. He knows he's got enough time to get Zimmerman. His throw is a little high, but a nice adjustment by Alan Craig to shift into foul territory as he took that high throw.
So Alan Craig still wearing the glasses, even though sun really not a factor. And here is Adam LaRoche. Fouls off the first delivery for a strike. LaRoche walked and scored the Nationals run back in the 2nd inning and has been retired 3 times since then. 2 down here in the top of the 9th. And looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning for the Cardinals, it'll be the top of the order. John Jay, Carlos Beltran, and Matt Holliday. 0-2 now to LaRoche. Lined into the stands. Wasn't that long ago, Bob, that the crowd was waving those white towels, cheering and urging on the Cardinals to protect that 2-1 lead. And they really, as loyal fans that they've been, still doing this.
Well, maybe could possibly be waving them again. The top of the order will be coming up in the bottom half of the 9th.
1-2 to Adam LaRoche. Popped up to the middle of the infield. Cosma, the shortstop, in shallow center, makes the catch. So Mott retires the side in order, and coming up for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 9th inning, John Jay, Carlos Beltran, and Matt Holliday. Last chance. Last opportunity for the St. Louis Cardinals coming up in the bottom of the 9th inning, trailing the Washington Nationals 3-2 in Game 1 of the best-of-5 National League Division Series. And Drew Storen, who did not pitch this year until middle of July, elbow surgery, and has been effective. He had a save against the Cardinals here in September. Actually, he had a blown save, but got credit for the win. In any event, Storen will try to close it down against the top of the Cardinal order.
Opponent's hitting only .210 against Drew Storen. Good fastball in the mid-90s, a hard slider in the mid to upper 80s. And he's a strike thrower. He usually goes right after the opposing team.
John Jay will lead it off, followed by Beltran and Holiday. Strike to Jay. Knocked in a Cardinal run with a sacrifice fly back in the 2nd inning. Has walked and stolen a base, reached on an error. Officially 0 for 1 on the day. There's a breaking ball down low, 1-1. Washington Nationals new to the stage of postseason play. Well, it's been since 1933, really, since Washington has been in postseason. And the Cardinals battle tested in the 2nd season. Nationals trying to win one on the road here. And it's 2-1 to Jay. Slice to left field. Back is Moore, and making the catch. Morse makes the catch in left field, and Jay is retired. On the fly ball to the opposite field, 1 away, and Carlos Beltran coming up.
Keep in mind, we said earlier that Davey Johnson likes to take Michael Morse down for Roger Bernardino late in the game, but Bernardino was used as a pinch hitter earlier in the ball game, so Michael Morse out there fending for himself in left field on that slicing line drive, able to get back and make a nice play.
And they got a good jump on it too. That could be tricky if you don't. So Morse makes the play, and here is Beltran. You saw the graphic. Top 3 hitters, 1 for 7 for the Cardinals. Beltran has that 1 hit. Came in the 7th inning. Strike 1 to him. Beltran 1 for 3 with a single, and has also walked. Nationals lead 3-2, and they've out-hit the Cardinals 8-3. One and 1 to Beltran. Matt Holliday on deck for St. Louis. One thing about the Cardinals, you can never count them out. In the air, left center field. And Harper will call for it and make the catch for out number 2. So Drew Storen gets Jay and Beltran to hit fly balls, 2 out. And the last chance, Matt Holliday coming to the plate. With 2 out, nobody on in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Holliday 0 for 4 during the regular season against Drew Storen. Obviously, home run power to any part of this ballpark. Should Storen make a mistake up in the zone where he could drive it.
And a breaking pitch for a strike. Now to go back to the 7th inning. The Cardinals leading 2-1, had the bases loaded, nobody out, and did not score. And then in the top of the 8th, the rookie Tyler Moore, who's just put on the roster, is his ability to hit for power. 2-run single, and that's been the difference.
How about it, Dick? All the star caliber players in this game, and Ryan Matthews arguably with the biggest performance out of the bullpen for the Nationals to come in and get out of that jam, and then Tyler Moore off the bench with the big pinch hit.
So how do you figure, and you never can, in this game, as you well know, there have been 11 hits in the game and none for extra bases. Holiday with the count 0-1 with 2 away. 27 homers and 102 runs knocked in during the regular season. There's a strike. Check swing, and Holiday questioning Paul Emmel on that call as to whether he went around or the pitch caught the inside edge. Cardinals now down to their last strike. And their dugout is a picture of deflation right now. And strike 3. As first base umpire Marvin Hudson indicates that Holiday swung and the game is over, and the Washington Nationals, after trailing most of the game, getting 2 big runs in the 8th inning and winning 3-2 as Drew Storen gets the save, getting Holiday here.
Boy, a real downer slider that time, way off the plate at 85. Matt Holiday just could not check his swing in the estimation of Marvin Hudson, and I think he's right that time. Well, the Nationals pitching comes through as expected. Gio Gonzalez a little shaky at the top of the day, but boy, what a nice job by the Nationals bullpen this afternoon.
So now you see why this team won 98 games. They had pitching both as the starters and as the relieving core, as Storen showed today. And the Chevy player of the game is Tyler Moore, put on the roster for this series. And did he ever deliver?
Never know who the hero is going to be in the postseason. The bullpen's become so important, which means pinch hitters are going to be very important. And Tyler Moore came up with a big one in the 8th today.
So the Nationals win 3-2. Ryan Matthews, as you mentioned, gets the victory. Mitchell Boggs the loss, and Drew Storen picks up the save. Each team left 10 runners on base. So the Nationals take a 1-0 lead in the best-of-5 series, winning a key game on the road, and we send it down to David Aldridge.
Thanks very much, Dick. They called the Goon Squad, one of the big goons. Tyler Moore, take us through that at bat in the 8th inning.
Just coming off the bench, I got an opportunity because they didn't want to face Tracy, so came out facing lefty and, you know, threw some pretty tough pitches to him, fouled off a couple ones. They were just kind of stick it out there and put the barrel on one and flare it out to right.
Obviously, you all season have gotten huge hits for this team off the bench. A lot of pull hits, but you had a lot of opposite field hits as well. What's your approach against the guy who throws that hard?
I've definitely messed up too, so I haven't come through, but that comes with experience. You know, just try to come into a hostile environment like this, try to settle my nerves down and really just try to put the ball in play as best as I could. So, you know, it ended up working out for us, and that gives us confidence going into tomorrow.
A team with the best record in baseball, obviously you guys have had a lot of close wins, a lot of clutch wins, but how important is it to get this first win, especially with this playoff format the way it is this year?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Just want to come in here and, you know, to get the first one is huge. But these fans, it's tough to play here. And, you know, it's, they've won the World Series, too, last year. So, you know, it's just huge for us. It gives us a lot of confidence.
Thanks very much. Congratulations.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Back to you, Dick.
All right, David, thank you very much. So disappointed Cardinal fans lead, but game 2 will be tomorrow afternoon on TBS, as the Nationals showed why they had the best record in baseball, beating the Cardinals 3-2. Coming up next on TBS, we'll join our studio in Atlanta with Matt Weiner. So for Bob Brindley, David Aldridge, Dick Stockton saying so long. TBS is your home for the 2012 Wild Card Division Series and exclusive coverage of the American League Championship Series.